So everybody sit tight. All right, everybody, welcome to another live Bigfoot episode here on Bigfoot Zone. All right, we got Pat Turner, we got Mr. Leon Thompson with us tonight, and we will be having Brent Hill with us. He's running a little behind. So, guys, welcome. Glad you guys could come in tonight. Yeah, Leon, Pat almost backed out when he heard you were coming on. He's a... I don't know what the issue. No, just joking.
I don't know. I think he's going to cut into my piece of the pie online. Because it's all about subscribers for me.
Oh, my.
Not at all. That's my first time on your show. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing I will go ahead and throw out there for all those who are watching, I see we have several people on the chat already. The chat is growing already. And for those who are new here, if you are new, if this is your first time viewing and listening to us on Bigfoot Zone, please take advantage of this time and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon next to the word subscribe, and we'll all be happy campers. And anyway, we'll be watching the chat the best we can. We got, we love questions. If you have questions or concerns or want to share something, I'll try my best to keep up with the chat. So, there's one thing I do want to address before we go any further. Leon, I'm not sure if you're familiar. You may be.
He is.
He is. Okay.
I don't know if he knows or not, though.
What? Tell me. Speak.
Okay. Well, we just recently there was a good friend of ours. She was the founder of Central Alabama Bigfoot Research Organization.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a shocker to all of us that we learned that she had passed away due to a heart attack. And this just happened the next day because the night before that, she just got done doing a long podcast.
What?
And yeah, she was did a whole podcast.
Actually died. She passed away.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the other night.
I talked to her yesterday.
Yeah, it's just
wouldn't have been yesterday, but
or not yesterday. Well,
it was the night before.
2 days ago. That's what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because her last podcast was on March 10th, and then it was the next morning. I'm not sure of time frames another, but
That's
it only it only happened a couple of hours, dude, after she wrapped that show.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, so her last moments on this earth were captured in that, however long show. I haven't stomached. I can't watch it. Like I haven't been brave enough to watch it.
Yeah.
But her last moments on this earth were captured in that, whatever couple hour, 2 or 3 hour period.
Wow.
Really sad. Very sad.
Well, that's a bit of a shocker coming on show. All of a sudden you tell me that. That's for sure.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Leon, I didn't even think to let you know. I kind of assumed at this point that word had spread somehow to everybody. And
yeah, I haven't been online too much, so that's probably why. So
yeah,
I posted something. And then we were chatting a little bit online, and then she did the show, and I guess that's when it must have happened, man. That's
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a shock to a lot of people because besides the podcast, I mean, I've seen people commenting or saying, "Well, man, I just spoke to her, and I can understand how that could be as a shocker." I mean, she didn't show no symptoms of anything. So she seemed totally fine because I didn't watch that podcast live, but I did go back and watch it, and I just wanted to see if there was anything that she may have threw out there, something that I just didn't see nothing. She looked totally fine, normal, so nothing out of the ordinary. But So yeah, for those who do know or those who don't know and watching, Miss Ashley Jacobs, she left us on March 10th, sometime late March 10th, early that later after midnight sometime. So. She will be greatly missed. She was a great friend. She was me and her have had several different discussions, and
yeah, man, she was a spark of life, like Kim. Like when I told Kim, Kim had a lot to say about Ashley, even though Kim didn't know Ashley as much as as well as I did, and I didn't know Ashley all that well, to be honest with you. Just sort of the relationship we have here with this kind of stuff. But she had a spark of life to her. She was a good-hearted person. She loved animals. She was fascinated by the Bigfoot phenomena, and it was I just pray for her and her family. And she, just so everybody knows, I'm not going to go into too much personal stuff about that, but I do. I have personal knowledge that she'd had seizure problems in the past, so she did have a medical condition. I'm not saying that's what it was, but she did have some medical conditions like that. I believe she was on, she was on medication for anti-seizure stuff, and I'm not saying that was it. I don't know, but I just want to throw that out there that she did have medical conditions. So
yeah. Well, one thing about Ashley too, I really appreciate it. There's one thing she did that Pat never did. She valued my opinion. So I'm sorry, Pat. I had to throw you out there, but no. She used to love talking. She always messaged me and presented something to me or showed me something. And I tell you what, it was. I felt honored. I mean, never looked at myself as anybody special. I mean, I try to come across as always an honest, opinionated person. So. But I mean, that's one thing I could say. She used to give me compliments all the time, which was very cool. But not that what's that?
I was just going to say the other thing is when I was talking to her on her show and stuff like that, is she's kind of down home, because I said, so are you laid back or not? And she goes, oh, I have Pat on all the time on here. So yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. But she would want us to be doing this, what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
She'd be right in here with us doing this. So
I agree.
It's a shock for sure. I'm going to definitely process it and stuff. But but she's kind of down home gal. That's what she is in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was Alabama to the bone.
Yeah, totally.
And I agree. I'm just one state over, Leon, and I'm like people from most parts of the country don't even know I'm grew up in Georgia my whole life, so I'm not really all that Southern, even though I grew up here. But she was Southern. She was engaging. She was a personality. For sure. And she'll be missed. She'll be missed. And it was very tragic and sad and sudden. So again, just thoughts and prayers to her family and friends. And 'cause I've seen it all day now on Facebook. It's all over the place. So
absolutely. Yeah. And she was, from what I've gathered too, basically, seeing her images that she used to throw out there, she's very family oriented, very close knit with her family and, and everybody else that she associated with. And, she had grandkids, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought she just had another one.
I think she did.
2 days ago or 3 days ago that she just became a grandma again.
She probably did. I can't remember that much, but that's very possible. That's very possible. Like I said, I can't remember because usually I stay on top of a lot of people. and I always see her post, but so.
I don't know. Like some of that could be could get a little conflated because she was so close to so many people that I think she was in a godmother position as
that
well.
Too, yeah.
So some of that could have been like friendly. How would you say? Like in just a projection of I'm a grandmother because I'm a godmother to this girl. I know she had one daughter there's one surviving daughter that I know of that's about 21, 22, so young adult.
Yeah.
So maybe,
So I mean, well, overall, it's definitely safe. Sorry, go ahead, Leon.
I was just saying, I'm just checking her feed here to see if it's on there. They do have a post that she's passed away on the main page now. Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna go, I have a similar condition. Well, I've had 3 brain clots in my head. I've dropped dead 5 times because of blood clotting in my system. And if you're going to go, it's kind of a good way to go because it's like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Either that or like a good LSD trip.
Right.
Sorry, that was my last time I dropped it on it. But so
yeah. Well, there's talking about blood clots and stuff. There, I'm concerned. There's another friend of ours that's usually with me and Pat. I won't even bring up that person's name because I don't want to jinx nothing because she's had some. She's fell through some situations, and she just shared with me earlier, about an hour ago, that the doctor's putting her on some kind of blood thinners because of the blood clots she's had on her lungs. So, and all this was a result of COVID when she had the COVID before. I'm just concerned about her. I hope everything works out. I hope she gets through whatever she's still working through. So I don't want to see nothing happen to her because I asked her. I said, "Do you plan on getting the COVID shot, the vaccine?" She said, eventually. And I'm the way I look at it, I know everybody has their own opinion about it, but I just advise her to be very cautious about it. Do your research about it, and, I said, everybody has different opinions, but there's so much going on. You hear all these different results people are getting from it. You hear about death, but, I don't want to get into that because I'm swaying.
Yeah, let's not go down that road.
Yeah, we're swaying away from what we're going to get into here shortly. But I just, and goes for anybody. Just be careful if you decide to do it. So, but do your research on the whole thing. So, like I said, everybody. I know a lot of people who have gotten it. From a lot of good friends, close friends, and so just be about your wits. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into Bigfoot. All right. I wanted to start off tonight's Bigfoot episode podcast with a question, and I figured this here might start off, and we could branch out from there, whatever which way or direction it takes us. But I threw the question out to Pat before we went live, and and I know Pat's very objective on a lot of different issues, and and especially you, Leon. I like your approach, and since I've learned about you from sitting in with you being on Pat's podcast and everything, so I got a feel for how you are on a lot of things. But and keep in mind, as far as being objective in the field towards the subject of Bigfoot or any whatever alleged cryptid out there or anything that's presented publicly. My question to you concerning being objective, is there any such thing as being over objective towards evidence? I want to start off with that. And so I'll let Pat go first since he just said no. So I want Pat to explain himself. He just kept saying no to me. So I was like, okay, please explain that short answer. So, but
okay, I will, of course. So I'm not even sure how to wrap my head around the concept of being too objective. So I'm not sure I understand the question, but is to my best understanding of it, is it like, can you be too objective? Can you be too questioning, too skeptical? Also, kind of plays into that. And I said no to you real quick because the word objective means what it means to me. And it's the opposite of subjective. And so yeah, I always like to frame it like this. It's like you got to combine 3 tools: critical thinking, objectivity, and skepticism. And those 3 things kind of balance themselves out. Well, critical thinking kind of rules over them. It just rules the trifecta there, right? And so I don't think you could be too objective. You don't want to be gullible, that's for sure. And so that's a lot of that's the biggest phenomenon we see in the Bigfoot community is gullibility. People just want to gobble up anything Bigfoot, and we can get into some examples of that as we discuss. So overall, no, you can't. In my opinion, you can't be too objective, and and that you have to use. There's more tools in the bag that you have to use with objectivity. And I laid those out, and so that's basically the way I look at it, without diving into the minutia of molecular thinking. Leon, what do you think?
Well, no, I don't think you can be overly over the top in regards to objective thinking. I think what people are concerned when they hear people say about being objective thinker is, I think, what they perceive the person saying is closed-minded.
Right.
That's the definition of being an over objective thinker. But you can't do that if you're a critical thinker, because
correct,
you are here to prove it's not a Sasquatch first. That's the first thing you're here to do. So those last reports I went on to, including Matt Moneymakers there with the sacred Sasquatch moose tracks of 2020, he was not obviously objective whatsoever. He was totally subjective in the whole narration. So when we went on there, we're there to find out what's going on, and that's why it's objective. It's not subjective. Yeah, I would like to find a Sasquatch. Subjective is from the inside out as you make your decision. Objective reflection is from the outside into your thinking, your feelings, and your emotions, and what you're finding in the environment. And so, no, I don't believe that being over objective. And again, it's not about being closed-minded. It's about, as a trick or a game or a puzzle, prove yourself wrong. That's the stance when you look at evidence. So,
well, you're going to hear me use Pat as an example on a few things.
That's fine.
We're just going to have an icon of a punchline.
For example,
I'm not afraid to sit in the hot seat, so go for it.
I know. It's going to be fun anyway, because, I got some quotes that come directly from you, Pat, that I'm going to use towards, and
that's fine. I need the practice anyway. So it's
all right. So, all right, what I'm getting at is, as far as, I'm remembering a lot of the things that we discussed on, the last few podcasts and stuff. And, and I may not say much, but I listened to a lot of them and what you guys suggest on with evidence, as far as how things need to be properly questioned the right way and everything, especially with explanations. So, for example, like when I present stuff, I like to present stuff to different people, and Pat is one of them. Or if I post something in a group, of course, I take note of Pat's comments or what he replies on his message. So like I'll use today, for example. I didn't think the picture I sent him, I was objective towards it too. I was just trying to figure out how the heck they got this out of that. It was a blurry picture where there was nothing in there, but they come up with a face, which it was bizarre. But of course, Pat's first reply was, "It's effing bullshit, dude." I was like, okay, I kind of agree with you, but please explain what, but, or here's another one. It was in a Facebook group somewhere, and it was a picture. It was a blurry picture, but it was it didn't look like it could have been pareidolia, but it did look like there was a figure with a face down in behind some tall grass and the foliage. Well, all right. Pat's reply was, "I'm pretty sure it's not a Bigfoot." Okay, that was his comment, which I said, okay, well, I value all that, I really do, but the thing is, I'm trying to find answers. Like, I kind of, as objective as I am, at the same time, I'm trying to consider the possibility of, well, maybe,
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Danielle. But the problem is like Thomas Steenberg said, if you have to describe what's in the picture, it's not solid enough evidence, even if the person did encounter a Sasquatch. Even if the person did find it. So again, I'm walking through the bush. There's a freaking Sasquatch there. I get my camera up, I'm shaking my hand, and I take a picture. Now, we need more information besides, okay, so there looks like there could be something there. We're trying to be fair to the witnesses, and plus we're trying to be helpful for them so that we can get the information we want out of it.
Right.
The problem with all three of us here, of course, we've been bombarded. Some of the stuff I got emailed to me just the other day there from this one person seemed really logical at the beginning, and then they really went into wing nutty kind of ideas and concepts. But some of the pictures and stuff people send me, like when that report came in from the Kelowna area of a man feeling that he had a Sasquatch on his property, and he showed a print, nice clear print, and it hit the news. And of course, I contacted the news agency. Well, unfortunately, it was scabbed off a guy's book that's on Sasquatch, and it was also posted by somebody else on Pinterest. And so I got a bit of a thought, confusion a bit today because of what you told me earlier tonight. So I might have brain fart. But yeah, and I think that's the problem right there. Is look at if we don't up our game. That whole thing with Matt Moneymaker just told me, draw a line in the sand. It's not about a fight. It's about, I won't pretend anymore. This is what the problem is. I do this professionally. I study systems. I get paid to go into the system, find out what is missing in the system. And this is the bottom line is, it goes back to your first question too, which is can you be over objective? No, you can never be overly objective. You certainly can be overly subjective though. That's for sure. Absolutely. And that's the difference between the scientific method compared to the scientifical method. That you don't have anything invested in the card game. When you're investigating anything, I don't care if it's whatever topic it is, you don't have anything invested in it. That's why you can look at it objectively and neutrally and find out what questions should I be asking myself. And same with pictures. You might have a picture like that. I've had people who've showed me pictures that would be Pat's response and my response if they gave it to me online. But after you meet them and you talk to them, they definitely encountered something. So you can't just take, it's like body language when you're reading body language. It's just not one thing the person's doing. It's a cluster of things. So you need to be a good investigator and get a cluster of information from the person. And maybe they'll just up their game anyways after they show you the picture. And again, they did ask you for your opinion.
Right, yeah.
Share your opinion, and then they come back with, I can't believe you don't believe that. It's like, yes, my opinion. I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to help educate. So
if you got to put a red circle,
that's a bronze one, isn't it?
Then it doesn't. It's not real.
Yeah,
it's
not good enough. It's not good enough.
I just debunked myself.
Yeah.
By the way, just debunked Pat Turner. The problem is this: too many hoaxes in the Bigfoot world, Daniel. Too many hoaxes. Yeah. Too much pareidolia. Pareidolia is a thing. Hoaxing is a thing, and I'm sorry, dude. That that one brave soul or several brave souls took the time to take a video or a picture of what was transpiring in front of them, and it's inconclusive. Because you can recreate that with a hoax so easily that it all falls under the umbrella of inconclusive. Like Leon said, you could go out there and talk to him. You look him dead in the eye, and you're like, man, this person's telling me the truth. I believe them. Or it could be you, Daniel. It could be you. Like, man, Pat, I saw it. Cool.
Yeah.
Put it online. People are going to criticize it. So,
oh, absolutely.
So we're just in that situation where when you're out there with them one-on-one, linear in their freaking world, man, they keep their distance. They don't tend to not reveal themselves. They watch our hands. So in the end of the day, because there's so many hoaxes and pareidolia is a thing, and I'm sorry, if it's inconclusive, it's inconclusive. So that's why I fall into, man, it's just BS.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Brent.
Hey, Brent.
Oh, cool.
And I'll say this, the better it looks when you zoom in on it like 30 freaking times, and it does look like a face. It's like, wow, that's a face. That may even makes me go, well, I want to know who posted that face and look into who that person is.
Right.
So if it's not somebody like Leon's talking about, that's like, well, I think this person's credible. If it's like a shady person or somebody that only posts their stuff on paid platforms, pay to see platforms, then I immediately fall into it. Nope, that's a hoax. No way.
I would evolve that a little bit, I think, because I don't think the way you make it sound is pretty polarized, black or white. It's either Sasquatch or it's a hoax. And I don't buy that. I think the problem is a lot of people who are new people that are online are excited, just like all of us were when we got addicted when we first came online, and we're really hoping to find a Sasquatch. So they're reaching out because they want to learn about stuff. The problem is, there's been so much hoaxing before these people ever came online. And I think those people are probably about 70% that are online now. They're not people who are trying to be deceptive at all. They're just trying to figure out the narrative and which one to trust online that will help them find a Sasquatch, which most of them won't, unfortunately. And they'll get caught up in the system the same way we did, Brent and I, especially because we started at the same time. And then, so I'd be cautious about saying, because what I'm interested in is education online for people. I'm not interested in the old way of doing it. It's not working, and it's not going to work at all. 50 years will be exactly the same place we are today.
I agree.
And we don't have to be. And part of the channels that are now networking up, I think we got 15, at least I got a list of 15, almost like all you guys to look at those 10 declarations, those 4 rules, and those other 3 comments and say, yeah, we abide by this practice here. And then find some kind of logo or something we could put on all of our channels. So the viewers at home says, oh, these guys are part of that organization and this is the standard they use. So they can call out us. They can call us out if we say this is a Sasquatch.
Right.
So that we can help them use that as an educational opportunity to say, no, this isn't a Sasquatch. I thought it was a Sasquatch, but I found out later it wasn't. So is there somebody eating something?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I know it's not me because I muted while you were talking. I still heard it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying out a new microphone. That could be me.
Oh, okay.
I sound like your chair. If you're bobbing back and forth, it sounds like your chair going click, click, or click, 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 click.
That's sensitive.
It's gone now.
To be, I heard it again.
I only hear it when Leon talks.
Yeah. It's a Sasquatch trying to stop the truth from getting out. That's what it is.
To be fair.
Government cover up.
Before we get to Brent, to be fair, I just want to clarify one thing. And I know sometimes I do, for whatever reason, the way I talk does come across as very binary. But I did, to be fair, I threw pareidolia in there, and I really don't. So it's hoax, or it's a Sasquatch, and pareidolia is in between. I don't really know what else it could be.
Well, 3 things. They saw a Sasquatch. They saw something they thought, that is me. I think that is me that's cracking.
Yeah, I think so. It's only happens when you talk.
You're sort of, you're like clipping the mic. So just back off the mic just a little bit. It'll probably stop doing that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not using a microphone there?
No.
Oh, yeah. There's that. Yeah.
Am I okay now?
Yeah, I don't hear it.
I never heard it in the first place. So
well, you've been drinking enough all night long. What do you want?
I didn't even go to bed last night, so I hear you, man.
So, yeah, it's definitely my mic. I wonder if I put some earplugs in, if I can get rid of it. Maybe it's back feed.
Yeah, do you have?
If you put in some earbuds, like a cord one or something, that'll work.
That'll cure it.
Or I was going to say, sometimes on occasions I use my wireless Bluetooth earpiece. That works too. So I only mainly use that. Huh?
I can't get mine to work.
Oh, like through your phone? I mean, it'll only really work through your phone though. But
yeah. I got some really nice earbuds that I'd like to use, but I didn't think I ever could.
Are you on a phone or a computer?
Yeah, I'm using my phone right now. It's on a tripod and all that fun stuff.
Gotcha.
Oh,
is my sound okay? Is it good?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, your volume's good. Yeah, your sound's fine.
See, I got a brand new microphone. I got a really nice microphone. Actually, my parents got me for Christmas to do podcasts on. It's one I've actually mentioned to them several months ago, and they remembered and got me this microphone I wanted. So, but the thing is, I tried to use on my laptop one day, and I did a test run with it, and I was doing, checking my own audio. Something ain't right. I went through all the settings and checked out everything I could. I don't know. I think it's my laptop in general. I need a new laptop. I don't know. That's why I use my phone most of the time right now. Because my laptop, the only thing my laptop is really good for right now is if I upload video, and I could use the editing software that I have on there to do my videos and stuff with. But that's about it. So,
somebody sounds really tinny. I'm still here to click on my speakers.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Nope.
Not hear me? Not hear me?
No. Yeah, we can. Yeah,
I can hear you. Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Okay. So yeah, back to, we were talking about the objective thing. Well, here's another question I wanted to ask while you guys were talking was, what about being so quick to dismiss something? Does that fall under that same category?
I feel I do personally. I've noticed lately, it's like, wow, I just get so, you're just so used to all these people hoaxing or being mistaken that you fall into the whole groove of like, yeah, this probably isn't real. And, so I feel like I'm doing that more, and I'm trying to recognize that. But even then, it's still, what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's some obvious things out there. There is some things out there that, we could easily look at. So, to most of us, it's pretty obvious BS. That whatever. Let's not waste our time with that. But there's some things I come across, and I try to look at them, like I said, objectively, but. Then I said, there's always something about certain things that get you really, scratching your head, thinking like, well, could this be? Maybe, but I don't know. I try not to fall. One of the things I like to say a lot that, I get from Les Stroud, one of his quotes was, "Don't fall prey to deception." And I try to practice that the best I can. But the thing is, there's some things out there that, like you said, it can be exciting to want to believe something that it could be that what is being claimed to be, because some things look like they just could be, but so.
Well, that's kind of where education comes in again. Is you have to figure out how do you know what you're looking at and why it looks that way, and that's kind of what's missing a bit. I like the spooky stuff too, because you get to go back and investigate it more till you find out what the answer is. It might take you a year and a half, but you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So.
I'll say this. I'll say this, Daniel. Like, since you brought it up and you made me think about it, I mean, are there some things I could do better? Sure. Hey, am I starting to get a little jaded? Which was kind of what Brent was talking about. Like He's saying, it's easy to get down the jaded road to where there's just so much BS that when you see something that has any kind of red flag indicators, you don't do the skeptical minded thing. maybe you do leap straight to that's just crap, and then but there's also a contextual issue, which is that if you're commenting on something, or if you're commenting in a live stream like people are doing right now, it's kind of hard to get your point across like without blogging it. You know what I mean? So there's also that balance. But yeah, I mean, could I articulate it better and say, no, man, look, they don't go walking around, on the outside of a wood line for hundreds of feet when people are around. That's not something they do. We see them all the time. Like something like that. Yeah, you're right. I mean, maybe could articulate it better instead of just being the jaded guy.
Well, you always want to try and like introduce it in a way where it's you're offering a positive, because nobody's going to learn off a negative by someone being sour to them about the evidence that they presented or that they think is real. And it's all about using kid gloves in a way, because you want to get your point across that this isn't real and this is the whole thing. So that's what I try and do. The only time that I kind of lose my cool are the repeat offenders, so to speak, of the ones who just constantly try to push that BS that we all know is bunk stuff, but there's always people out there that are willing to buy into it.
I'm not good. I'm just not good with kid gloves, I guess, is my thing.
Sometimes, some days I'm good, some days I'm bad, with the kid glove type of thing. But I try to be understanding, because I try to put myself in their situation and their position. They might be new to the subject. I try to remember when I was new and I was so naive and I was asking these questions and believing all this, stuff that wasn't real. So that's the perspective I try to have when, communicating with people and stuff. It doesn't always work out that way, and it can turn into a real bitch fest. But, that's life.
Sure.
Well, what Steve posted that's correct. It's not about, we got to get a certain shift in our brain. We're here to educate. That's how we're here to do it. So if a person doesn't want to listen, there's not much you can do about that. That's that cognitive dissonance. Once that clicks in and that's their position, you can't have a discussion with them because they're not interested in a discussion. So that's not our target audience. We don't need everybody online looking for Sasquatch. I mean, man, if we could just get 1,000 of us all looking the right way at the right standard and talking to each other and sharing ideas across, which people talk about, but it's very hard to implement something like that. So let's start with 20 of us, move up to 50 of us, and then 100 of us, and those are all channels. Take that information we get, the 100 of us that are in the channel, that run the channels, and teach our people the same stuff. That's what we should do. And crowdsource it out, like Steve from Curious Cryptid mentioned before. We have tons of potential. There's no reason why we shouldn't have them on film. I don't care what everyone keeps coming up with. Well, because they wear ballerina outfits at 2 a.m. in the morning, and if they swirl around just enough, a vortex will open up, and they'll be able to shoot through that vortex and disappear. Nice.
I'm not trying that.
There's no evidence for that at all. So let's stick with their feet on the ground, and let's make sure we start with something we know. Tracks are facts. Let's learn how to read tracks correctly, so we don't. That's just a simple thing. I mean, people are seeing tracks and pointing out, saying there's a Sasquatch track like the one that was shown in Kelowna, but you could tell because by looking at it, it's not a Sasquatch track. It's the same footprint mine is. He's claiming it's a 17 to 20 shoe size man and 6 or 8 inches across. It's not that. There's a measuring tape right on it. You can see it's not that. It's pretty obvious, but again, it's this exuberation. Remember, there's this thing about people coming into a new club online. We can't go to our bowling clubs. We can't go to our card game clubs. We can't go to our drinking buddies clubs because of the COVID thing. So now we're online and we're meeting people and we're starting this little groups, these little small community ideas via the Facebook pages and stuff. The problem is the people coming into the group don't know the rules, so they start listening to the people in the group, what the rules are and what the ideas are. They start parroting it, and you know this. All you have to do is talk to somebody for a little while, and you find out what camp they're in. That makes you adjust how you talk to them. You don't want to adjust what you're talking to them, but you know that there might be closed-mindedness. All of a sudden, that comes over their eyes. You're not one of us. You don't believe in what we believe in. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what I believe. I mean, I do care, but I want to find out what it is I'm looking for. So I'm not sure why that's such a difficult task for a lot of people. Well, I do know why that's a difficult task for people. But anyways.
Yeah, it's it can be challenging, but what I love is like some of the more obvious ones that will happen, especially ones that have been recycled because somebody did a debunk video at some point. And that's what I love. I love the debunk video guys, like the ones that are good at it.
Yeah.
Who like really dive in and really go deep into what's going on in the video and all that stuff. And maybe even that person's background, you know, or and
sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to really understand what's being presented. You have to look at the person presenting it as well, because that there might give you indications what the evidence is. You know, not always, but it's a faceted, multifaceted thing.
It is, but that's the easy. Those are the best ones to go. Hey, this isn't true, and you should check out why it's already been debunked. You can link that. You know.
Yes, I think Steve Coles is probably one of the top of the game in the Bigfoot community.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Yeah, he's really good because he's got that private investigation skills.
Yeah, I like Steve.
So what happens if we run into a situation where you got somebody that's probably got a great reputation, large number of followers, and they present something, and everybody's believing it, but then say for example, just a few of us on here on the panel will see that and say, wait a minute, that's obvious BS. How's everyone falling for this? So where do we go from there? Where you got 90% that love it, and you got the 10% that's like, no.
Well, you do what I had to do with Matt Moneymaker. You do a video and you show him exactly why he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing I can do about those other things. But out of that, doing that with Matt Moneymaker and finding out him claiming that those are the best Sasquatch trackways in North America. This is what he's saying. In North America from 2020. Right. And it's only 3 hours and 40 minutes in our area. Frickin' rights, we're going to go up there.
Yeah.
And it's in the snow. Frickin' rights, we're going to go up there in knee-deep snow. So we showed everybody, you guys seen it, how to figure out what it is.
Yeah, it was very thorough. It's very thorough.
And the problem with that is it exposed him.
Mm-hmm.
It exposed him for just clickbait. He didn't check out anything. He doesn't even investigate anything, which embarrasses the rest of the BFRO researchers who are probably doing their honest, sincere way of possibly doing it. But when you have the president of an organization that is claiming stuff, and everyone knows that goes on the BFRO, when we come online, they're the place to go to check out Bigfoot stuff in your area. So we go there because we're trusting, and there's nothing. I mean, what other things haven't been vetted?
A lot of stuff, man. Especially that's why I'm always saying that, you know, the people that are presenting it, even the well-known people, man, you really got to fact check those people, because I guarantee you that a lot of them are wrong, straight up dead wrong, and presenting completely wrong information, writing books about wrong information, and you know, getting people to believe in it and donate it to it and all this type of stuff. It's horrible.
Well, that's the funny thing about it is they come after people who show why it's wrong in just such a veracity, you know. But the ones who are actually wrong, when one of us show the other ones are actually wrong, like you did with the Sasquatch Under the Tree Hotel, and I did this whole thing with Matt Moneymaker, and they're looking at us like, look at, we're the watchers on the gate. That's what education's about. Education is about informing people so they can see the information and why it's that way themselves, to ring a bell. Because this is not what we're looking for. We're looking to find a Sasquatch. You know, we're not into this Parkinson's law of triviality, where we're more interested in the ideas of Sasquatch instead of the topic. Mm-hmm. The topic is Sasquatch. Clear glass of water. Be careful what you drop in there in regards to different colors of food coloring, because it's going to taint your concepts and your vision from that clear target. The problem is, and that's what's happened online over the last 10 years. You know, people, it's not them specifically, it's their brain and how our brain is wired. When your brain gets to a point, it would rather do the lazy route, saves it energy. And it also likes to start picking and choosing its own concepts and ideas, brings it to the front of your brain, and you go, that's a good idea. Sounds logical to me. but I don't know anything about logical thinking, but it sounds logical. Feels right to what I want to believe.
Feels right.
That opens it up. Now, it's not, you can't blame people for this because you're bloody programming. We all have it. I'm guilty of it. And, whether you like it or not. The difference is we're aware of it. So if we're aware of it, like we said, the first question you asked us, is it possible that you're over objective? No, I need to be over objective because my brain might be fooling me. You know,
it is hard to stay grounded. It is hard to stay grounded with it and still do a proper investigation, because you can get taken away with, you know, going out and being influenced by somebody, even though you know the whole process of power of suggestion and stuff, you could still get influenced by people, and it's always a mind game where you always have to check yourself at the door pretty much to make sure that doesn't happen. It's a constant battle to stay completely neutral and straight out there.
Well, and you don't have to do it the first time. I mean, when I walk on site to a certain thing, unless I know what's going on again. But if I walk on a site and I'm suspicious, I just let myself be suspicious and curious, because there's something there, obviously, I've seen that's obviously triggered something in me that I should go investigate it. So I don't try to fill in the blanks too much at that point. I just go for the ride. I don't go directly to whatever the thing is either. I try to move around in a circular form towards whatever the target thing is. But as time moves forward, like people were commenting about, oh, how can you go back into the bush and check those and find those are moose tracks? I mean, you went up there 10 days later. Well, because what protected the track was the snow. The snow was 1.5 foot to 1.5 foot deep. That means it protected the track at the bottom. It's easy to get down there to see whether it's a hippopotamus, a giraffe, a monkey. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's in snow, it's protected. You can't ask for a better, easy way of discovering what's at the bottom of a track. Not like in summertime, like where you were at last night, you and Akira's Cryptid. And
oh man, yeah. I wish I could send it to you. Or I wish I did. But man, we heard the craziest thing out there.
I did hear it.
Oh, you did hear it?
Yeah, Steve sent it to me. I was trying to watch it last night. Steve sent it to me this morning.
What do you think of Bard Owl? Or did he send you my copy? The one that I sent him?
I'm not sure he sent me before or five, but it's interesting. It's definitely
we were out there, and I'm like, whoa, what up? Because he was there about ready to leave, and I was doing a solo overnight camping trip there, and we experienced that. And I was like, I've never experienced that at all. It sounded like a woman and a man like communicating back to each other. But then when I reviewed it, there's like an owl sound right in the middle of it, which kind of got me curious. I don't know.
So I'm curious. I'm curious to check that out. Is there any way you could play that right now? I don't know if you have the means to do that or not, but
well, it's on my phone. But I sent it to Curious Cryptid, I think. I'm pretty sure I did.
You did?
My copy, yeah. And then because I increased the sound and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I could probably do it here. Yeah, you know.
Curious Cryptid just says he cut out your response. What the man is that?
Oh. Okay.
Or he'll sit.
Well, here, Steve said he sent it to me, but I'm on my phone, and I wouldn't be able to do it without.
Oh.
Send it. Send it to me, Steve. I can pull it up.
Yeah, because I'm on my phone. If I try,
just a man.
Well, I have a superior Macintosh Airbook, so.
Yeah. Is he sending you the? I guess I should probably look on that chat, huh? Hey, Steve, are you sending him the one that I sent you, or your copy? Let's see what we got here in the chat.
Okay, you sent it to Danielle or Daniel. Daniel. Well, too many Daniellas in my life right now. Danielle.
I cut and edited that part, or the weird part, because I used the parabolic, which I think needs a new microphone. But so it picked it up pretty well. It was really it was really unusual. It's like I really like to find out what made that.
Yeah,
I'm curious to hear it because
if you get it, Daniel, if you're having trouble pulling it up, Steve can either send it to me or one of you guys can send it to me. I can
send it. Pat, I'll send it to you. Okay. Or did you already, Daniel?
If somebody sends me message through Messenger, I can message them back with the the video.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Somebody just got it sent here.
Yeah, I just got it.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll play through my.
I was just going to try that.
You may have to play through a separate device. That's why I'm saying even if you was to send it to me.
Let's try it. Let's just try it.
Yeah, right? It's not going to hurt.
All right. Right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
All right. I heard a little something there.
So, Pat.
Yeah.
Open up your your browser search, and then drag that over to it, and then go share file on here, and we should be able to hear it a lot clearer.
Now, will the viewers be able to hear it as well as us?
100%. Yeah, everyone should be able to hear it. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So there you go, everybody. Sit tight while Pat works his magic.
Pressure on you, Pat. Bring Steve on. We'll just play it for you.
While we're waiting on Pat to do that, everybody that doesn't know Pat should know that he is a flying spaghetti monster researcher.
I am. They are real.
Yeah, he's the founder of the Spaghetti Monster Research Organization from out of Georgia.
That was the philosopher that came up with that term, Pat. You stealing his terms or what? I thought that was
I'm pretty
Michael
sure
Sherman that came up with that.
I'm pretty sure South Park invented the flying spaghetti monster.
No, it's actually in the clinical term, I'm sure. But it's a good one for South Park because it goes with the cartoon and stuff.
Okay, so I can't drag this out of Messenger for some reason.
Oh yeah, you have to save it and then do it.
How in the world do I save it? I don't have an option for remove or forward. That's it.
Right click on the picture or the audio.
Okay. Hold on. Oh wait. Save as.
There you go.
Save as. What?
Just go save as, and then it'll
downloads, I guess.
Yeah. Just know what is going to be under your downloads, because sometimes they save under a certain weird number. Or
it just says Facebook. Oh, great! Okay. Steve just gave me a computer virus. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Hey, Brent, Steve just posted this right here. He says, Brent, I don't see a file from you, email or Facebook.
Okay. Great. I filled it that. Hold on. Let me. Can I log off or how about somebody send me a Facebook message, right? Because I don't want to log off the screen here, but if somebody sends me a Facebook message, I could respond to that. No, actually, I can't. Never mind. You know what? I guess I'll be right back, I'll send it to
BRB. BRB?
Yeah, who wants it? I'll send it to him in the messenger.
Okay, just wait. I already have all the files. So give me a second. You guys talk something Sasquatch, okay? Let me go offline, and they're not offline.
I don't think Steve has the one that I sent him, or the one that I got.
Well, you send me that one right now to my face. Oh, you can't.
Yeah. So I could send it to and this will cut out the whole middleman and or whatever. So
all right,
can you play it?
Well, if you're gonna send, wait, did he just freeze?
Okay, yeah, there's oh my God, there's what did I do today at 9:56 p.m. There's 40 freaking files here.
Really?
It should only be one under that time stamp.
I wouldn't open them. I would click over them and see if they're all the same number. That'd be the first thing I would do. See if there's one that's not the right number.
It's all nonsense.
Okay, Brent, why don't you just?
I think I got it. I think I got it here. So I can play it through. I can play it on my iPad here.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Man, sure hope this isn't going to be
use your microphone. Your brand new mic you got now too.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it sounds good.
No.
Uh-oh, he's got that. He's got that sex talk voice going on.
Are you ready for this? It's loading up. I'm sorry.
Let's do it.
Or is it a country western? A country western song. Yeah, 4 grown adults can't do anything electronic. Does anyone have a 13-year-old in the household?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is like it's killing me, Thomas.
It's killing me, man. Come on, just make the sound. Make it.
I got it.
Wait a minute.
I haven't slept. I didn't sleep at all last night. I didn't sleep at all, so I'm like delirious. You know what happened after Steve left? Like Steve left, I don't even know what time because it was like so late. It was like 11:30. I get into my car. There's a mouse in my car, which drives me crazy, right? So here I am, like we just encountered these yells. So I was like, Jesus, is that a Bigfoot or what? So I have to like get everything out of my car to like get this mouse out for like over an hour. I was there like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, like trying to get a fucking mouse out of this. I could just imagine the Bigfoot's looking at me and like laughing, like just like I was like, God damn mess, trying to chase it like back and forth through my car. And anyway, so yeah,
well, that's objective though. That's a good objective researcher.
So you're admitting that was you in the audio doing that scream from the mouse?
From the mouse?
You'll hear the shit, goddamn mouse, where are you? I probably shouldn't say all that stuff on there, huh? Okay, we're getting close.
It's okay.
We're getting close. I had to put a password in. It's my long story. Here we go. Dun dun.
So you guys had 3 different mics going on this, right?
Yeah, 4 actually. I had one in the fake tent that I had, and then Ben, he had a farm set up. A farm is a parabolic dish set on a tripod, and I had one of those, and a Curious Cryptid. Actually, I think he had 2 or 3 on him, or he had 2 or 3, one on him, and then 2 set out through there.
Yeah, I heard he's talking. He sent me the video of you guys. You're all talking, and he's talking into his mic, and then he goes, "Oh."
It was,
and you were saying, you were swearing. That's when you were swearing there. What the is that?
Yeah, I was like, wow, what? All right. Cool.
So Brent, I take it you and Steve must live within the same area or not far from each other, or?
Yeah, it's over a 2-hour drive for me to this location because we're helping another individual kind of research this area out where he's had a lot of success, and he actually has really good protocols and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but me and Steve, I think we live probably about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm gonna take Steve up to that tree so you can kind of check that out.
Yeah, do that. Steve would love that. He would have a great note. Steve, I know you're still here.
I wonder if that tree still makes that same kind of like phenomenon.
Oh, it does. If the tree hasn't fallen over, because it's an old tree, if it hasn't fallen over, it's still making all those sounds because they're having a conference up there this year around the tree again. So I'm thinking about. I'm not gonna do this, but I'm thinking about it. It's like put a microphone in there so when like Tom Cantrell's like, "Hey, big guy, you underneath this tree?" And I'll be like, "Yes,
do it."
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
We'll bring a whole production crew up there.
I can have like a hidden camera on me, and I can be like,
yes.
Oh, wow.
Do it. Oh my God. That would be so awesome to flip the script on that kind of BS and prank them for once.
Or just
we'll spin it somehow.
Film the whole thing. Go there, film the whole thing. Not you, Brent, but somebody else that they don't know. Film the whole thing as you're there and stuff, and then look up at the tree. Film yourself looking at the tree and say, "Well, what's up at the top of the tree there?" Go investigate the tree, but film everybody while they're there. That's what you do with these type of people. And then you find what it is, and you show everybody there, "Hey, you guys, I think this is what the sound is. I don't know. Why don't we come and look objectively?" And everyone else will be there. Those people will be standing there with mud on their faces. That's what they need. because it's obviously they know what's going on and they're not telling anybody the truth. So
yeah, I mean, I tried to talk to like Tom and stuff, like privately and stuff, and he ignored me. And then he was trying to promote it in a Facebook group. I'm like, yeah, sorry, dude. We actually found out that it was actually the branch. He's like, no, dude, I'm a forest guy for 40 years. You don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. Blah blah blah. And yeah, so he talks from authority, and I'm like some dude that's like just there, nobody knows. It's like, who's this dude? And so yeah, it kind of works out. So yeah, I'm gonna have to leave, I guess, huh? So if I just exit out, if I just exit out, will it just will I just disappear?
Yeah,
forever.
Just go do your stuff. Go do what you gotta go do, and then just click on the thing and come in again.
How do I get back in though?
The link. Use the same link I sent you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still good for this live podcast. Yeah.
Okay. But no, if you exit out, you will go into a portal. You might end up under that tree with the Sasquatch.
Well, let's hope I'm still wearing my clothes at that point.
Yeah.
So.
And riding a moose in the snow as a Delilah with no clothes on.
All right. Goodbye, guys. Wish me luck.
Figure it out, man. Figure it out. Oh, now he's sideways.
Yep. All you did was your camera.
Are you guys still there? You guys are still there?
Yeah.
You're still in there.
Leave the room. Leave studio.
Right now, you're walking on the side of the wall. You're defying gravity.
Wow.
I actually like you guys. I asked you guys if I hit that button if it would work.
Leave studio button.
You guys lied to me.
Yeah, what? I don't know what button.
It's not Daniel, huh?
Leave studio.
I'm gonna send it to Pat. Right?
Huh?
Is he the most competent one of us right now?
Yeah, send it to Pat. Yeah.
I guess I don't know. It didn't play very well. I might have to. No,
right, Pat, there you go.
You're still in the room.
All right, man. Hey, where you guys at?
Turn your mic back off. I think your mic's turned off.
He's in limbo.
Well, you have to invite him back in, I think, because he went off. Didn't he? No. Turn your camera on. Just
he's still here. Camera. He's still here.
Oh my gosh. This is like watching a whole bunch of seniors trying to figure out how to play.
I know, right? You're right. Dude. Like, where's the technical support? Where's who's a handy 14-year-old?
Wait. Oh, here we go. Wait.
There he is.
Look at you got the whole screen, man. Oh, there we go.
I did that. I put him on solo. All right. So what did you accomplish?
Well, this better be good. That's all I have to say.
God damn it, better be. I'm done with it.
And I didn't get any message. I don't have any message. I don't know.
It might take a few minutes to send because it's 28 seconds long.
Yeah, usually they should take about 30 seconds to a minute to upload on his end. Then
42 seconds.
I want some more. I want some more hot seat questions. Hot seat questions from Daniel. What else you got for me, bud? Yeah, come on, bring it.
If you want the attention, I'll give it to you. Well, here's a question for you, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I know one of the things you like to talk and discuss a lot and share is as far as producing legit, serious Bigfoot footage. And by doing that, it would take a drone. Now, I agree that would work. Now, do you believe? But I guess I'm trying to think of the best way to ask this question. I guess, do you believe that is the only way to get any kind of legit Bigfoot video footage?
Well, I mean, given the fact that it's 1,000 times superior to tramping around through the woods trying to get close to them, which 50.
I tried that. It doesn't work.
Yeah, 50 plus years of people, thousands of people trying has not yielded any good results. Yeah, I think from the air, covering 4-6 square miles in 45 minutes might work a little better, you know.
But now that wouldn't. I mean, you would still have to consider that that would get feedback, both positive and negative. You know, as far as just like any other footage, right? I mean,
no, not like any other footage. I'm talking about advanced thermal technology, which is not like kids' toy crap or cheap FLIR. It's $10,000 camera.
Yeah, you have showed me. Yeah, you showed me. You sent me a sample a while back, maybe almost a year ago. Maybe it was. I don't know, but
yeah. So we're talking a $10,000 camera, thermal camera, which not a lot of Bigfooters use. Some do, but statically, not aerially, and that can see a Bigfoot better than your eye. So you're going to see proportions, you're going to see body temperature, you're going to see transparency better than you would if you were in the air looking at it with your own eyeball. So it's better than your own eye. So that therefore it's more conclusive. The data is more conclusive right then and there. And you're going to be able to tell this is a 8 foot, 4 foot wide, different proportion thing walking around on 2 legs out in the middle of the wilderness where there are no roads, there are no trails. It has
and
no
the canopy's got to be down, right?
Canopy has to be down. So this is not technology that looks through the canopy. It just looks through the dropped canopy,
right?
So there really is not much of a canopy, I mean, even though there might be some evergreens, sprinkled in here and there. So it's all situational. And of course you can adjust the drone. You can move it around and adjust it to the angle that's most advantageous and to view it. And on top of that, you can film it for, let's say you've got half an hour of battery life left. You can sit there and film it for 25 minutes. It only takes 5 minutes to bring it back, even from two miles away, unless there's a headwind. But, I mean, that is pretty conclusive with GPS coordinates. All the metadata is intact. So you can actually view this anywhere with the metadata intact, saying, basically, easily showing that there was nothing introduced into it. There was no CGI introduced into it. There was no manipulation, no photoshopping, nothing like that.
Yeah, that'll definitely be like the next PG film right there.
Times 1,000. I mean, so put the PG film in the history books forever where it belongs.
So my next question is: do you have any money put aside towards this device?
Nope, not a dime.
So we won't be seeing this anytime soon. Noted. I'm just joking.
So
I know they're not cheap.
The canopy is going to be coming back here soon, and so Georgia up to where you are, and you know this too, Daniel, and all the way up to Maine is going to become Vietnam again.
Yeah.
So.
It'll start. It'll start coming in.
Next winter, I have plans for next late fall to winter, hopefully to have this technology in place to do it on my own, because I've just learned that this is something I personally need to do, and, I can't coordinate with anybody else with this idea. It's not going to work. I have to raise the funds one way or another.
Well, I can tell you, I know if you ever bring something like that up to Virginia, I know 2 places. One out of the 2. I mean, I feel confident in both of them. But the thing is, there's one in particular I really have a lot of high hopes for that I myself need to do more investigating, more exploring in there. Because, there's some things I like to share with people. There's things people like to ask me about experiences and encounters, which I've shared and stuff like that before, things I've experienced out there. But there's some things I've never have shared because they were things I know I saw things off of old, for example, I'll throw a little bit of something out there. Several years ago, I had a camcorder. It was probably the worst camcorder I could ever have, but it had good zoom. I could say that much. It zoomed in really, really far. But it was filmed in so far, the focus was crappy. It really was. But
Yeah.
When I was up on a ridge a long time ago, I climbed this very tall, steep ridge. When by the time I got up to almost all the way to the top, not all the way, but almost, I found a flat spot. I was able to stay and take a break and rest for a little bit. But while I was in this certain spot, I had a perfect view of the other ridge. And even though it had a lot of thick foliage, it had some open spots and here and there. And from the naked eye, I thought I spotted something over there. I said, what the heck is that? So I pulled the camcorder out. I set it up on the tripod. And I zoomed in, and I'm looking through my camcorder. I said, what in the world am I looking at? Then I literally saw a movement. And, I want to say, this is what I want to say, and what I feel and say is almost the same but different. I feel like I really did see something because I did see movement. Something was moving around. There was two things there. One was tall, one was small, but the smallest one kept moving around. The taller one looked like it was a bipedal subject, and it looked like it moved to the side behind the foliage, and then it kind of stepped back out. But the small thing kept going from one side to the other, and I'm trying to ask myself, I don't know. I really don't know what to say. So I never really spoke about it because it was inconclusive to me. But at the same time, I honestly felt like I was actually seeing maybe a Bigfoot, on the opposite ridge. But it was so far, even zoomed in, as far as I was, when I zoomed in, it was hard to tell because the camera, it was a crappy camera. It really was. And like I said, it was so far zoomed in, the focus wasn't right. It wouldn't stay still right, So
well, part of the thing with all equipment, and I think this is another problem that most people have too, is because you get a camera doesn't mean you know how to use it. Because you get a camera doesn't mean you know how to do it. If you get a microphone doesn't know how if you don't know how you do it. So the idea is to film everything, even if it's not a Sasquatch, just to get you used to your own camera, especially for those long distance shots, to make sure the camera is set up correctly as well.
Right.
Also get in the habit of, I have a really light tripod that one of my cameras are on. And if I ever saw something that I thought was a Sasquatch, that is on the ground first and turned on, and I am not touching it instead of keeping it in your hand. And then I can zoom in and do that without grabbing it and holding it. You learn to always put your camera down if you've got a tripod, and get used to getting that very automatically familiar, almost like military training with all of your gear. Because when it happens, it's going to happen fairly quickly, unless you're on top of a hill and there's a nice meadow down below you and the thing's walking across the bloody meadow. But that's only a few seconds too. So you got to know your equipment and know it inside and out, because when you need the shot, you'll be punching yourself in the head or finding the nearest tree, just going, idiot. Oh, then you phone up you guys. Oh, I saw a Sasquatch. Did you get a picture of it? No. Did you have a camera? 4 of them. Nice.
Now, well, with a camcorder I use now, it's not the most expensive thing out there, but it works great for me. I've had compliments on the footage because, I do a lot when I go out in the woods. I do a lot of filming, basically filming the scenario, letting people see where I'm at, what it looks like where I'm at, stuff like that, so people get to see the quality of the footage of the camera I use. So, and it's only a 60 times zoom. It's a Sony Handycam fully high def, and I'm happy with it. It's all like I said.
I think I got the same one. Does it got the sturdy lens in it? The one on the floating one.
Hold on. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. If it does have that, maybe it's an
Hey Pat, did you get that audio? Did you get that video, Pat?
Yeah, I do have it. And we can pull it up if you guys want to go.
Yeah, let's
with all the work that we went into getting that.
Yes, I agree.
It is Sunday now, 3 days have passed.
All right,
we can do this, you guys.
It's a different tab. So what I'm going to do, Daniel, is I'm going to attempt to share screen on this.
Okay, when I see it pop up, I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Pull it here.
Application Chrome tab. Is it this? Wait, no, it's not that.
Make sure you turn your mic on for your shared
There
file.
it is. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's what I'm wondering. Is that if it's audio thing, because I have my earbuds in. I don't know. We'll see. Sure.
All right, did you already share it?
I'm sharing it right now, but I haven't played it.
Okay. Okay, hold on. There it is. Let me add the stream.
All right, so I'm going to go in here, unmute it, rewind it a little bit, and we'll see what happens, guys.
Same idea. There's no controversy there. You're not directly outing. There, you're not directly outing. Same idea. There's no controversy there. You're not.
Interesting.
Oh, that did play. It should be better than that. I don't. It kind of like paused on it.
Yeah, that's the one you sent me. It's like it's in 3 segments. It keeps looping that same thing over.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can play it again. Oh.
Yeah.
Outing.
Yeah. The leading candidate is probably a barred owl.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because I know that sound.
Yeah, I hear the barred owl, but I hear the other stuff too.
Yeah, it's pretty loud when you actually hear it live. Or
oh yeah, it was like, whoa, what the hell is that?
Well, yeah, it stopped you guys mid conversation.
Well, imagine I've been at my camp several times. Keep in mind, in my area, there's tons of barred owls. A lot of times you'll hear them in the distant, you'll hear them vocalize and communicate back and forth. But a lot of times, also sitting there at camp, sometimes either we're sitting around the fire, BSing, or just chilling, and all of a sudden, get that, imagine hearing that less than 20, 30 feet away. It will make the hair on the back of your neck stand up because it'll catch you off guard for one thing. And I've heard that so many times, and I've had other people out there to hear it for the first time too, and they think we got a Sasquatch right there at camp. I say, no, guys, calm down. It's just a barred owl. I've heard them make so many different sounds, but it is a freakish sound. It really is.
It really is, because it sounds like it was 2 individuals, like a female and a male, and it was like they were yelling towards each other and stuff. But the thing is, it's you got to vet out the evidence that you collect and stuff, because a lot of people would just be like, oh yeah, it's Bigfoot, and go post it, and there's their new clickbait video.
Right, true. Like we were talking earlier, but
yeah, exactly.
The barred owl I heard, so I heard this other stuff happening.
There was it sounded like a woman scream, like woo, yeah. And then a owl that goes woo 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 woo.
Yeah, but that was a typical. That was I would say typical barred owl call.
Mm-hmm. The first part, yeah,
it's very recognizable. But the other stuff that was going on, I was like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I can't tell.
I personally haven't heard it out there. With the sounds that we hear. But it was a good one last night. It stopped us dead in our tracks, and
I've had that happen.
Ooh, because we didn't hear the owl part in it. It just sounded like 2 separate voices when we heard it. It wasn't until I got home and reviewed the audio. It's like, oh wow, you can pick up that owl sound right in the middle, just like right there and stuff.
Yeah, Steve's commenting down here too that the owl sound came from one direction. The other two sounds are coming from different directions.
Different directions.
And I was mentioning to Steve today, Brent, did you guys, when you get sounds in like that, are you taking compass bearings of the direction of where the sounds are in case you can triangulate it?
Well, we all came up with 3 different locations of what we heard, which is weird because it's like I heard it one way, Steve heard it one way, and his wife heard it another way. So it was like we all actually I don't know. It was really weird. Yeah, it was really weird.
It's easy to get. I mean, obviously, you guys weren't standing next to each other in a straight line because you're out in the woods, right?
We were. We're right by my camp where I was camping at, and
you guys had a campfire going. I'm guessing.
No, there was no campfire. Well, I had all I had was some fairy lights set up, and later that night I put a light in a tent, a fake tent. We're just doing some experiments and stuff, and.
Right.
And so that's all we kind of did. And
my only point is that 3 people having different ideas of directions, that's so easy in the middle of the woods at night, bro. Especially if you didn't have a campfire, because you can't orient. You cannot orient yourself properly. It's you could be off by 30, 40 degrees and not even know it, or more.
I want you guys to listen to another sound. Well, I want to ask Brent a question, but Pat, would you mind looking up this audio for me? It's under SoundCloud, and it's under SoundCloud under my name, Daniel Benoit, with the number 7 afterwards. And if you find my playlist under that, look up the one that says Unknown How under my name. So it's called Daniel Benoit number 7 afterwards, and then again it's called Unknown How. If you do a Google search for it, it'll probably pull it right up. But
wow, you don't even want to know what the first thing I typed in your name and what the first thing comes up as a suggestion is.
If you put my name in, Chris Benoit, the wrestler is going to come up.
No,
you got it,
Daniel Benoit. The first thing that comes up as a suggestion is Daniel Benoit, cause of death.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not kidding. SoundCloud.
Yeah. So while you're looking that up, Brent, my question.
7, you said?
It's called Daniel Benoit 7, and then under my playlist of audios, it's called Unknown How. Yeah. But in this area you guys were in, Brent, was there a lot of hills and ridges in the area by any chance?
There's hills around, for sure. Yeah, and we've heard owls in the area. Just I personally haven't heard this particular an owl make this particular sound like this and stuff. So it was a new one on me. It was a good one.
Well, the sound that I got, Pat looking up right now, it's similar to that. It's similar to the barred owl sound, but a lot of people feel that it's something completely different.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a good thing to fully vet it out to be like, look, this is a barred owl, so if it comes up again, there's a good library of sorts repository.
Actually, right on
there
YouTube.
Is? Oh yeah,
look up on YouTube. I've actually studied a lot of different sounds from owls on YouTube, and you'll actually hear that same sound on YouTube. So,
I haven't had a chance to check or anything.
I just want to remind you guys, that's not the sound they're recording. It's the other sounds around the perimeter of the owl sound.
Yeah.
So it's not that way that's in the question. That's more likely exactly what you guys are saying it is. It's the other 2 sounds or 3 sounds you hear around.
Oh, yeah.
I've got 5 recordings in my feed, so it's there's a lot more to it than just that one audio.
So I'm just curious to definitely would love your all's take on this one here. Yes, the one called Unknown Sound.
Unknown Yell.
Yell, yeah.
Unknown Yell. Ready?
Yeah.
3,
yep.
2, 1.
Screech owl.
See, wow. I was thinking
right away.
I was thinking.
Oh wow!
Thing is, I was thinking more of a barred owl because as far as a screech owls don't usually have that kind of a loud sound. Theirs is more of a lower tone, ain't it?
Well, that's what I thought I heard was a lower tone in it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, because
let's listen to it again.
I don't know. Now that I listen to it again, that's the same when you play it just a minute.
There we go. Sorry. You guys there?
Yeah.
Just listening.
Yeah, it jumps right into. It's only a 5-second clip, so it just jumps right into Daniel's next wave file that's in there.
Now, well, I do have other owl sounds in there and stuff too that I know that I labeled as owl howls, and other distant howls and stuff. But
here we go. Let's listen to this.
Which one's that?
Man, can I just say this? Oh God, here we go.
What? Is that poetry from Daniel?
There. Oh, it's still playing through my shit. All right, I just got rid of that. Can I just say this? Like, look, things sound funny sometimes in the woods. Like, even Brent has an example of a coyote that, like, they couldn't wrap their head around what they were hearing, right? Like and then who was it? Steven actually saw the coyote making the sound. You know, is that fair?
No. That's Thomas Steenberg debunked the Chehalis scream.
Okay, all right.
The Chehalis howl, and because he physically saw the coyote
making the same exact sound.
Yeah. But at the end of the year, I recorded a coyote on a full night, just doing like its little thing, its little groove, and some other interesting stuff that night too of audio anomalies.
And the weird thing about audio is it's not just what's making the noise; it's the environment you're in. So what's the terrain? You know, what's the reverberation?
The weather, and there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? I had to learn
knowing the difference between when a mouse is coming up the log to where your receivers are, and it sounds like it's something massively big, and no,
right,
it's a mouse. Again, the distance. It's important to get your distance. If you get a microphone, get your car. Turn the microphone on, honk your horn, drive in increments of 10 little twirlies, and honk your horn again, so you get used to hearing what your audio tape sounds like from a distant location.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, then you're going to hear stuff, and it might be something that's right next to the bloody receiver, and you're going to think, oh, something really big walked by. No, it's definitely either a mouse or a squirrel or a bird or something that's curious what the smell is, because your scent is definitely on anything electronic, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, if I may, if you'll indulge me, I had to learn, and it's only because I was taught this. My buddy Ernie told me about this phenomenon.
Dun, 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 dun.
You could be walking through the woods in the middle of the day out there where I go, and you'll hear a roar, and I'm not kidding you, dude. It sounds like a roar. It's like, oh, it's what it sounds like, and it's like, if you don't know what that is, it'll scare the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And
you're talking about cat?
No. Absolutely not. A completely different species, man. And what it is that it's a woodpecker at just the right distance to where it starts pecking on a tree, machine gun like, going, you know, like that. But at just the right distance, it doesn't sound like it sounds
that Bigfoot tree. That Bigfoot tree sounds like roaring. It really does. It sounds like something's roaring at you from underneath the ground, and also sounds like something's growling at you and puffing at you and talking to you and all this stuff. So yeah, man, it would be surprised what even trees can do as far as creating those roar type of sounds.
But yeah, that's actually just a woodpecker doing like machine gun pecks, but at just the right distance through the wood line, it doesn't come across as like you don't pick up the the individual hits like you would close by. It just sounds like one thing, monotone, raw. And I hear it all the time in the woods, and I'm like, I ignore it. I just I'm like, yeah.
I've always heard that in the woods too, but 2 hunting seasons ago is where with what Pat's talking about. Yeah, I actually, for the longest time, I've always heard it and just never really thought much of it. But then 2 hunting seasons ago, when I was, sitting, I was sitting down behind my own blind, and I had woodpeckers. You could hear them knock, knock. It's that's one thing I always talk about too. When people hear tree knocks in the woods, you'd be surprised what a woodpecker sounds like too when they're knocking on a big hollow tree.
They'll test the wood. They'll do a single knock. Pop,
I came across a tree, man, where it's like a woodpecker condo type of thing, where it's like all these rectangle holes that are going back into the tree and stuff, like all the way straight line up. It's like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, but that same sound that Pat was talking about, yes, I actually heard that, and I was like, and actually the woodpecker wasn't that far off because I was actually looking above me because I could hear him first knocking above me, and then you see the woodpecker, because the woodpeckers out my ear, we got these mountain woodpeckers. They're pretty big. They are. Some of them got some pretty big size to them. So, but yeah,
my brain was going to what we talked about earlier in regards to that tree with the Sasquatch underneath it. I think this is what should happen is let them have their conference. They all get around the tree. They have the experience around the tree. You're another camper in the campground. You walk by, so all these people over there. You walk over to them and say, hey, what are you guys doing? Well, we heard that there's a Sasquatch under this tree. And you go, no, I talked to the warden about this just earlier. He was pointing out that up top there is this tree, because it's what's called a tuning fork tree. And so that every time the wind hits it, it comes already down because it's reverberating. Remember, roots in those style of trees aren't like carrots, so they go out this way. So that's why you feel the ground shake. It was a mystery to me as well. And then just walk away.
You're right. I love that.
I can predict what the response would be. They'll look at me briefly, just stare at me like with this dumbfounded look on me, and then go back to whatever they're being.
No, it can't be you. It can't be you. It has to be somebody.
No, even if it was somebody else. Even if it's somebody else,
because that's the way to do it. 100%. Because people are going to say, you'll say with such certainty, and you can even show them. Well, come here, I'll show you. I was talking to the warden. He actually showed me how this all works, and they're going to be stuck with their own. Like, remember when you and I found out that we were getting spoon-fed BS for most of the time of coming online? Remember that process of having to get, after we've been spoon-fed for so long, we thought there's something not right here at all. They have a right to go through that as well.
Yeah. Well, it's like
leaders aren't.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what to, what to do with the whole conference. Yeah, because I want to go because it seems like fun. It's funny because whenever they go there, there's always like the areas littered with green apples. Like the last time I was there, I did an interview up there. There was like literally 60 green apples everywhere, and like peanut butter and all this stuff around the tree, and like it was
man, they're just asking for bears to come around. That's like bear food right there. Yeah.
And out of the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus peanut butter, if it's all still there, that's maybe telling you they don't like apples or peanut butter, or they're not there.
Well, a lot of those people don't know that. They don't go back. They just assume because it's like an offering. Yeah, it's like an offering, and then they go back to their own lives, and they've had this experience. And I don't know if there's like an extra cost to go to, go do the whole guided tour to the tree or not.
Well, Steve has a good point here too. He says, Brent, you don't have enough lifeboats to save the crowd. You're not trying to save everybody, man. We're just looking for the right people to all of a sudden click in. There's something wrong.
Well, we were talking about that last night, and it's like I think examples are a good way to help give people the tools of like, hey, look at how this happened, how this played out. This is a great visual thing of proof to show what we are kind of talking about as far as like, I mean, this was a big thing of like Brian Sykes did a private secret DNA study and flew Adam Davies in and spent all this money and time. he told everybody that there was a Bigfoot living underneath there when he first went there, and he was taken there and he left and he, you know, did the whole West Coast tour and told everybody, oh my God, there's a Bigfoot living up there, and it's amazing all the resources and all that went into it.
Well, it's that sunken cost fallacy. We're all guilty of it. Yeah, we're saying stuff. And that's why it's important to know what the hell you're talking about and investigate it out. You went there, Mr. Rookie. Yeah. What did you do? Threw it all out of your head, looked at it objectively, found out what it actually was. And that's what we were talking earlier, Daniel, about can you be overly objective? No, you be absolutely brutally objective. It's the phrase I would say about the whole thing. And stop looking for a Sasquatch and look and find out what the puzzle is. The puzzle is the target making the noise and the reverberation under the ground. Let's see what is doing that. Don't put Sasquatch onto it.
That's exactly how I went to it too, because actually I never liked going to the tree because I always felt like there was somebody watching or listening in, because there was always recorders around there. And so I never liked going there. And so when I went back there I restarted my investigation. That's what I always recommend. Restart your investigation, start from scratch. I'm going there with knowing nothing. There's a sound coming from underneath the tree. How did it get there? And that's what it was.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing we could do is walk around in different voices around where the recorders are and act like we're fairies.
They have no idea it's really us. Now, we actually have a mining company underneath the ground where we've been making weapons to take over the world.
Yeah.
Brent, what conference is this out there? What's the name of it?
Oh, I don't know. It's like one of those small conferences. It's in its third year. It's this lady who believes that there's something that lives underneath there as well. And you know, I reached out to her privately. And I'm like, hey, you know, I kind of, you know, figured it out, and here's the proof for you. And you know, it's funny. You could present facts and stuff to this.
Well,
but you can present this to people, but they still won't accept it. They don't want to accept it. They would rather believe what they want to believe versus, you know, being presented something like none of this shouldn't have been an issue after Brian Sykes wrote about it in his book, but for some reason nobody read that. It never got circulated around, and everybody got distracted because it was a big deal back in 2012 to 2013 to 2015. It was the talk of the Bigfoot community,
right?
And then it all suddenly went away when Brian Sykes came out with his book. But that's also when Adam Davies talked about his portal incident too, because Adam Davies was a big advocate for that Bigfoot tree. And so I think that portal event kind of overshadowed what Brian Sykes wrote about in his book about that secret DNA study that everybody was talking about.
Right.
Marble
well,
Mountain.
nobody, I can tell you this, nobody's talking about it today. I don't ever see anything about that tree.
It's weird.
I never even knew about it until I realized that there was something going on with you and it. And I was like, huh? What are you talking about?
But it's in 5 or 6 books. I know it's in 5 books for sure. And I think it's in a 6th book. And, you know, it's not like you can recant all that stuff and be like, oh, sorry, I was wrong. I got to take it on my book now. But I know it's weird because it's also associated with that really popular trail cam photo, too, that is a lot of people think is a Bigfoot looking over.
Well, I'm just like, just freaking throw a hand grenade down there. Like okay, boom. Let's throw a hand grenade down there and be done with it.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy process, and it's a awesome tree. It's a very unique tree. You don't want anything to happen to it because it's amazing how it's able to produce all these different sounds. I was talking to David Ellis about it, and I'm gonna go record all the sounds that it makes and give it to him so he can have like a repository, library of, you know, hey, trees can make Bigfoot sounds too.
Brilliant.
That type of thing.
Brilliant.
Well, Pat, you know, I got my 3rd year Bigfoot conference going on at the end of June this year, and Pat's coming up for that. So, Pat, you come up here early enough. We'll go out to the woods. You can help me pick out a Bigfoot tree, and we could bring people out to our Bigfoot tree. Right here in Virginia.
Yeah, we can get clicked.
But with this tree, it's very unique because it'll thump underneath your feet. Like you'll actually feel the thumping underneath your feet at different places underneath the ground, and you'll hear all the sound coming from underneath the ground. And
I saw the videos you sent me, dude, and it was like, it sounded like some, you know, a Bigfoot going or whatever. Like I mean, it was kind of weird. Yeah.
In person, it's like really loud too. Like it's like insanely loud. Because it's deafening loud. It gets so loud, and it's an amazing tree. I can't wait to get back up there. The weird thing is Lori's brother wants to meet me up there to like talk about the tree or whatever, and take me to some other places of Bigfoot activity. So, I mean, I don't know what that's
just
all
film
about.
it. Don't you listen?
Oh, I'm going to film the entire thing and be like, ooh, this is what's
okay. But Brent, listen. You got burned by these people, so you are not objective. You got to stay objective and just do it as if I invited you up here to do that, and you film it and you show them what it actually is.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to do. Yeah, just keep it professional. Be like, you know, if they want to present to me that this is a Bigfoot tree, well, you know, I could present why it's not a Bigfoot tree, and then
get them. A better way of doing it is as a teacher, get them. You already know what it is. Help them discover what it is. So it's actually not you that discover it. It's one of the people who come to the conference, because they can't argue against the person. And then that person goes back. It's like a little virus, goes back to the rest of the conference and starts talking to everybody. That's another strategy to use in a situation like that. You're like, don't do what there's 5 lessons of the learner. And the first lesson or first rule is don't do for the learner for what they can do for themselves. And so you can say, well, it sounds like it's higher up there. And then you can start speculating out loud and saying, well, that could be the root systems that's underneath. I mean, this is West Coast, you know, we're talking tiger jungle. So a lot of moisture can easily follow root systems through there. Not only that, squirrels can follow root systems through there. I could show you a big oak tree.
Whenever something like that is presented, it's always quickly shot down as far as being like, oh, we already investigated that. And that's not what it is.
Well, then you just you're not there to listen to them. You're there to find out what's going on. And then you say, and you use what's his name words back to them. If there's a Sasquatch under here, don't you guys want to find out if it is?
I dug underneath there. Because I thought it was it's a way to do a proper investigation. I dug underneath the tree. I didn't see anything.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're tiny Sasquatches. They're like the Sasquatch moose tracks. They're very dainty, very tiny and dainty.
You shouldn't see anything because that root system has to have something to be in. You know, like
up here in the Pacific Northwest and in this area here, the root system is like an umbrella, so it doesn't actually go very deep.
That's right.
It's just an umbrella, so that's why they get pushed over. I wouldn't be surprised if the tree actually fell over, because it's like almost a 200-year-old tree, and it's
wow, yeah. But
it
is on public land, correct?
It's in a campground, public campground where you can go. Anybody can go.
So nobody owns that land, or nobody can keep you away from it.
That's the thing is when I first came out about the truth about this, I was told to remove all the stuff because I'm going to get blacklisted. Nobody's ever going to want to work with me. Everybody's going to know that I'm a liar, a hoaxer, or I'm trying to steal her evidence. I'm trying to ride her coattails. I'm trying to do all this stuff. And she actually even wrote a long "I'm done" speech. She posted it, to play victim and stuff, and she about how I was such a terrible person. Now I was like ruining her research and all this stuff, which I was actually like the 5th or 6th person she did that to, but it's whatever. It's insane. The whole thing's insane.
Here's another thing you got to do: just grab a few people, show up in hard hats and yellow vests, and tell everybody, excuse me, you guys got to remove out of the area. We're about to excavate this whole area. These trees are coming down.
Well, but honestly, going forward, I don't want to put like that much more time into the whole tree thing. Cause I want to try and get, actual Bigfoot evidence, but I do feel I need to really show what actually, what all is going on and of what the actual, because I haven't done a really good job because I didn't really have a lot of support when I first came out about it. I just had a lot of fucking hate against me, where it's like, whoa. So I didn't do it. I didn't fully like go all out on the presentation. I just kind of it was just kind of like a vanilla thing where it's just like, oh, this is kind of what it is, and leave me alone now, type of thing. But I'm just going to do this one thing to fully explain it to everybody who doesn't know, because it's still a known tree. It's still being used to be exploited and stuff. There's no real nothing out there really that will counter that explains it in a good scientific method without no biases. It's just the facts. This is what's going on. Tree's done this, blah blah blah, and you can get priming, confirmation bias out of it, and I don't know how deep I want to go into like the real shenanigans that happen, like the BS behind the scenes of like stuff that would just be like, wow, this is insane people.
Crazy.
Well,
Just
I think you have to go into that has to be a part of the narrative.
Well, I was talking to Steve about this, Curious Cryptid, last night, and you know, it's like I was going to do one video, but he recommended I do multiple videos. Just do a video first about the facts of what the tree's all about, so nobody could attack me for it. And then, if I want, I can really kind of explain the details behind it that they might have had questions in the first video. Maybe the second video will help explain why certain things happen, why we did fall for the tree and doing all this different stuff, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, just in case you want to know, this happened now, personally. Yeah.
But it's like it's like really fucked up shit that it's like, wow, I don't even know if I want to like go down that road again. But
I hear you. I hear you. Maybe not.
I don't think she's gonna do it to anybody else because she's already been outed enough. But you know, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to go down that road because man, stuff she did.
You have to do it. I had to do it with Matt Moneymaker. You have to do it. It's not about any of them. I don't
want that to overshadow what the tree really is. I don't want people to be like, "Oh, look, he's just a drama," you know, because she has.
You got to stop worrying about what other people think. Stick to the facts and just keep to the facts. Yeah, I don't care what Matt Moneymaker.
That's what the one video is going to be, but the second video, it's like, you know, to give the full details, man, that's like really exposing a lot of people too.
Well, you don't have to give the full detail, but you can certainly, like my video I did for Up North is 3 videos. As soon as I got back into the bush, 5-minute video. Something's wrong here.
Right.
Second video was the one you guys just seen, which is the whole how did we find out and unraveling of that. Matt's own words against him. Now, this is for educational purposes. People can say that I'm doing a hit piece, but I'm not doing a hit piece. And I think we were online the other day, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and somebody in the comments were talking about, you guys are just as bad as the Bigfoot community, you know, just as toxic, you're coming after them. They're misinterpreting what they're looking at. Mm-hmm. What they're seeing is frustration of being lied to by somebody who knows they're lying. And that's happened so many times to a lot of us. Again,
well, the thing is, my story, you know, it's unique, but it actually happens a lot in the Bigfoot community. I know somebody else that you guys probably know too, that is going through something very similar that I am going through, but not as severe or anything. But so it's not like I'm the only person that happens to. It happens to everybody, and that's why I'm kind of wondering of how much really I should divulge, because it could be a good example of like what to watch out for, of what's really capable.
Well, that's why you do it, but you just make sure you document the whole thing. Always say this, in my opinion, let the facts stand and where the shrapnel goes. Like I was talking to somebody the other day, who I won't mention who it is, but they have had encounters with Matt Moneymaker and had to do legal action against him a few times. So, you know, when I did up my video, I made sure I covered myself legally. If he wants to come after me, I know exactly what my wordage is.
Like, I wouldn't do anything where anybody can come after me as far as legally or socially or anything like that. It's just presenting the facts, and you know, it's like I want to be completely transparent to the point where nobody thinks I'm hiding anything. But the thing is, I don't want to be too transparent that, you know, what's being said is going to overshadow the truth about the tree. And
well, again, that's
what the process is.
That's so
I'm trying to find that good line of doing it. That's why
that balance.
Yeah, but you'll do that as you do it, the same way I had to do it. That's why I sent one of the comments on the video. Good update 7 weeks after the event. Yeah, all the film footage is from the time you're up there.
After it, but in my defense, it's still being used to you know, do some shenanigans with. And you know, the thing that sucks is like all the shit they talked about me behind my back, like you know, I hear about it every so often, like with Jay Birch and stuff. He was like he was warned about me. Yeah, he was part of the people that was there was like the whole campaign to smear me to make sure I'm not going to have any sort of, you know, they try to run me out of the whole Bigfoot community. And
but you're not that, Brent. You're
not that. I'm not. But
so
you know,
don't worry about any of those people. I had a guy. Listen, I had a guy the other day, a couple of weeks ago, that I was asked to come in the back room with, I wasn't on the show or anything, but I was asked to come in the back room with the person. And the person said to me that he thinks I'm a dake. And so he proceeded to talk about that. And we kept talking. We ended up talking for about 2.5 hours afterwards. And he apologized. He said, I projected onto you because you're so solid with what you say, which means that from a viewer's perspective, they'll think of you as being arrogant, which I'm not arrogant, because I'm here to learn. An arrogant person is not here to learn. The other people out there are very arrogant that don't want to learn what you're talking about and what we're talking about.
Agree.
The idea that, and this guy's a great guy. I've never had any bad feelings towards the guy. Even after he said that, was kind of a surprise. But I had two guys. Matt was another one. He wasn't too sure about me. He thought I'd be like really aggressive and stuff like that. I'm not trying to be aggressive. The reason why I come across aggressive is because I'm asking the right questions. And it's not, I could say it buttercup tones with loves and kisses on each cheeks, but it's still going to be interpreted as being aggressive. So I can't do that. I want to find out what I'm doing. I will drop dead a lot younger than you guys will because of my rare blood disorder I have. So I don't have any time to BS. I've dropped dead 5 times. What does that teach you? I don't have time for BS. I want to find out what we're looking for. I want to do the best I can.
I wouldn't put enough of my time on that BS. You know?
Yeah, whatever, Leon. You're gonna fucking live out. Outlive all of us.
You're gonna outlive all of us.
So if I keep saying it, yeah.
It's gonna be remade.
So
yeah, I mean I've already proved that Daniel Benoit he's already dead. So I mean
we do have walking zombies out here, that's for sure.
Yes, I played one on TV. But you're right, Leon. I know what you're saying. You and I are sort of two peas in a pod in different ways, though. But I get that too. Like, I mean, it's like question anything, or try and say what you think is the right thing with your critical thinking mind, and boy, the floodgates will open on you so fast.
You gotta know your crowd. You gotta know your crowd that you talk to, and that's why. You know, the good thing that like what we're trying to do, you know, create a crowd where we can have these conversations and you know, so we don't get.
I agree.
Waste our time with people trying to oppose us.
You guys realize I'm like that I'm doing that documentary on snake oil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've seen a lot of the footage so far, or not a lot of it, but I'm being sent a lot of that footage because I need to know it for when I go on the show. But it's gonna just go, and that's what we need. We need a good smacking on the bottom to up our game, including these people that are acting childish with regards to their investigations. Look, I'm not. When I said to you guys on the video, on the last video I posted, I'm giving you about $20,000 worth of information. I am giving the community $20,000 in what's systemically wrong with the Bigfoot community. Now, I have a good chance that 90% aren't even going to give a shit about that because they're too caught into this other thing. I don't care about those ones because all I need is 10%. So I seen somebody on site. I've been calculating all these these pages and that, and you know, there's 250,000 people online that are looking for Bigfoot. 250,000. I don't need 250,000. I need 2,500, maybe. I don't even need 2,500. I just need the right people, and we can find these guys. This idea that there's somehow supernatural, you know, they're part of the Avengers squad, you know, or that's not a reality. That's projection onto the subject is what that is. So let's figure out what we're looking at. As soon as that kicks in, and we all start doing that, the data is going to start flowing a lot quicker than it's been compared to the stagnant it's been for the last.
Well, you know, I feel that that's what we're doing up here in Washington. We are, you know, a lot of really good people, like, damn, what am I doing here? Type of thing. Really good people that are coming together that are really going to take on the Bigfoot subject this year. The phenomenon itself. You know, it's just going to be really good people that have the same goals, passions, and they're going to collaborate together. So, I mean, it's happening. And, you know, the thing is right. Just do it where you're at, where everybody's at, you know, just create this force of nature. And I'm very excited about this year because we have some stuff planned that's like, wow, this is going to be some the best Bigfooting I've ever done. It's just going to be so well organized with really good people because you can't do this by yourself. You need people, but you don't want to have people that waste your time and stuff, which you'll find here.
Yeah. Well, in the near future, well, I can't say really near future, but there are things I know there's going to be some pretty cool things coming out of the East Coast here. I can't say much about it. I was presented stuff, and
this is an East Coast West Coast thing. Yeah. You want to do like a challenge thing or something? Who's going to fight?
Yeah, you want to take on Canada?
Yeah. We could do East Coast West Coast. Still, hey. we can start having a feud. Who's the better Bigfooter? I don't know. Maybe the West Coast, man. We got the Pacific Northwest, man. Up here in Washington, this is like primo.
Look, I'm gonna be the Tupac of the East Coast because Tupac was originally from the East Coast, okay? And so I'll be the Tupac of Bigfoot, So West Side, East Side.
I'll be Vanilla Ice of the West Coast.
No, there's some cool stuff coming.
Fine.
But there was something I wanted to ask, and just for the last few minutes here, I like to get everyone's opinion here. I already know Pat's, but if you guys are familiar or watched it, Expedition Bigfoot. There's 2 seasons out already, and I just recently watched them. I caught up on it because everybody keeps sharing stuff with me, and I just had to check it out. So I watched them. I know just from what I've watched so far, I know what I take on it. I know how I feel, but what's y'all's take on it? I mean, yes, it's a show. I'm very familiar. It's a show, and I know shows, they got to have entertainment. They got to have stuff to draw in a crowd, their viewers and all that. I'm well aware of all that, but I just feel like this year, compared to like any other Bigfoot show that's been out there, like Finding Bigfoot, we all have our takes on Finding Bigfoot. But this year seems like it's a lot more serious. It seems like they take more of a scientific, serious approach to things. They don't jump on everything. They don't claim everything's Bigfoot. But I don't know. But what's y'all's take on that?
I'm not going to go first. I doubt. I don't even know that Leon even knows anything about Expedition Bigfoot. I know. I got
Discovery Plus for free on my phone plan. So yeah, I binge watched the shit out of it. I actually got really bored watching Expedition Bigfoot. I actually had to watch YouTube videos while I was watching Expedition Bigfoot in the background.
Wow.
No joke, I really did.
Wow.
Well, I think the idea of the idea of the technology they use is a good idea. I think they use it wrong.
It is. It's not real world scenario. Like it's a TV show. They got to produce ratings. Like I wonder if their recent DNA claim is just really to kind of get back into the headlines and stuff, because that's free advertisement for them. It's what you call guerrilla marketing.
And the location where they're at as well. That's another weird one too. It's kind of like there's something shady on there. What was the one where it comes across the tree structure, but it's all fresh spruce? And and I'm thinking there's something. This all fresh spruce. There should be a lot of evidence.
Well, if you're a producer, I don't put any hoaxing on the 4 hosts, right? But if you're a producer that is trying to make a TV show so you can make a living doing a TV show, so you can maybe get you on better things, you might do some shenanigans to up the ratings and up the cool factor of, like, maybe make a structure, maybe plant DNA, maybe, I don't know, do some shenanigan type of stuff. That that's what they do. They're trying to sell TV, and a lot of people like that stuff, but not people like us. We like more real stuff. It's not as awesome as that. It's not as like capturing, like, I could put it in an episode. You really can't. Like, Bigfoot.
Well, this is what bothers me. This is really what bothers me about Pat and how much he loves the show. Because he was just counting all the things he loved about it on his fingers. There, like he absolutely loves to let it go.
He's got a Rusted Cord a poster in his bedroom, I bet, that he hangs right on his wall. Rusted Cord, there with the, with his big ass backpack. He was actually at the Bigfoot tree too for a week.
Wow.
They did a private expedition there, and
Shocker.
Yahoo, Dory, Yahoo, Dory, Christmas time, it's almost here.
Well, with Expedition Bigfoot, it's just they tried. It's all about chemistry, I think, and I don't really feel that with the host. And I think that they should go back to a Monster Quest type scenario where there's not an actual 4 host or whatever, 4 host, and just go back to more of the facts and maybe go to different people across the country who are actually serious about doing their Bigfoot research and doing that versus the Finding Bigfoots, even where they only have a day or two to go investigate an area where it's like, wow, what's the point? It's like when these ghost centers that go to a ghost house and they just go there for the night. It's like, geez, don't you want to set up a long-term thing there so you can collect more evidence if you collected this really cool evidence before?
I mean, yeah, that's a good point, but
my turn.
I mean, from what I've watched on it, I mean, it seems like they are spending like, I don't know, so many days in one area before they move on to the next. But
my turn. My turn.
It's different. I mean, because they have a prime. They have
Leon's first.
Go ahead, Pat. We'll wrap it up with Pat's take.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, and these guys probably don't, I was on the world's biggest television show, like by far.
Oprah?
Yeah, 15.
He said Oprah?
No, not one, but 3 seasons of.
He was on the View.
The world's most popular television show, 15 to 20 million viewers a week at its peak. So I know a thing or two about television. And I'll say this. Finding Bigfoot, great TV show. Great cast.
The cast plays a big part of that.
Yes,
part of
it was a great principal cast, man. Those 4 people, and they all kind of had a role naturally. I would say even not even overproduced. It was not an overproduced show. It was at first, but
they're allowed to find their stride. It seems like with Expedition Bigfoot, they're forcing it with us.
Very forced. So so people in the Bigfoot world like to crap on Finding Bigfoot because not Finding Bigfoot. It's like it's a TV show. It's not made for you. It's made to hold your interest, but it's made for the general public. Finding Bigfoot was, and it actually brought a lot of people into the Bigfoot world, right? I mean, I don't think that's an argument. It got people, general public, interested in the Bigfoot phenomenon. So Finding Bigfoot was a fantastic show. It may not be your cup of tea if you're a hardcore Bigfooter. Sure, I get that. It's a great show.
If they started back up, I'll go back to watching them. I've always enjoyed watching it. It was good entertainment, but it was also interesting to see where they explored and stuff.
Dude, I mean, they were on for it was a successful TV show. They were on for about 8 seasons, I think.
Yeah,
and
sounds about right.
Standalone. They actually came out with a standalone, which is the reason why I think that they had those moose prints, or why Matt Moneymaker declared those moose prints, so he can kind of promote the whole thing. Anyway, sorry,
dude, I mean, yes, of course. I mean, Leon, having to separate my opinion of Finding Bigfoot from your, experiences, Matt Moneymaker. Of course, Matt Moneymaker is sensational. He was always the guy. They would always use the audio clip. I think it's a squatch. He's a LARPer. He's a sensationalist.
He's a LARPer.
Gobbled that up. He gobbled that role up. He loved it, obviously. And he's a millionaire now because of that.
No, he's not.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
$10,000.
No.
He's not a millionaire.
No. You guys.
Not after what I know. He ain't no bloody millionaire.
Well, then he blew his money. I can tell you what you will make on a successful TV show for 8 seasons on Discovery Channel. You're a multi-millionaire.
Well, not if you
get a lot of money.
Not if you're getting sued.
Well, yeah. So if he blew,
you have to do something about that. If you're getting sued, you have to do something with all that money.
Different discussion. Okay.
If we don't want to get going, we've already been going for 2 hours and 4 minutes here.
Yeah. all I'm saying is that all those guys are millionaires. Renee, Bobo, Cliff and Moneymaker should be. They definitely made that kind of money after the success of that television show. That's all I'm saying. And again, I'm a TV guy. I was in TV. I knew something about it. Anyway.
Yeah, but that was porno. It's a total different financial world.
Well, Now we're talking Bigfoot porn, really?
I don't know, man. You were in it. I'm Peter Dane.
Bigfoot porn is a new type of porn.
Yeah.
Go look it up on Pornhub.
Where's Peter Dane? Anyway, Expedition Bigfoot.
Sorry about that.
Expedition Bigfoot was a way less successful show. It was overproduced. The first season was 100% produced. It was exposed for what it was. It was nothing like even Finding Bigfoot, because Finding Bigfoot did find its stride where they would strap the cameras onto the guys and put in those, sometimes Cliff would actually just go out into the wilderness by himself without a production crew and film himself out in the woods. Mm-hmm. And that was very clever that it was a good move on their part to give it an element of reality. That was more like Les Stroud, even though it wasn't as real as Les Stroud, but at least gave it that visual of Les Stroud, right? So they did that. Expedition Bigfoot was 100% overproduced television show. The first season was what I would say is if you
the commercials were so long. There was like a commercial every 2 minutes on Expedition Bigfoot.
If you're gonna say a reality show, and what's the lie of a reality show? Expedition Bigfoot, the first season was that. It was like it was as far away as you could get from reality. It was 100% produced. They lied their asses off. Production did. So what's to think that they've had some change of heart, that production's had some change of heart, and this whole DNA thing that's coming out, of UCLA, that they sent some, and DNA is a complicated thing. It's not simple. It's not something you can sum up in a fucking 3 paragraphs, like that press statement from the show. That's why, because the first season was complete BS. That's why the second season, with this sort of extraordinary claim of DNA, is absolute BS. Just like
need a third season.
It's
a third season.
It's guerrilla marketing, like you said. That's all it is.
Todd Stanton used his court case to better promote his newly documentary Discovering Bigfoot on Netflix. So that he was driving traffic to that, and he was like, "Oh, how can I drum up business for it and not have to pay for it? Oh, I know, I'll lie and I'll get headlines worldwide. I'll invest little to nothing into telling everybody I'm going to do a great cause for the Bigfooting world, and then just direct them towards my documentary, so I can ask Netflix so I can make another documentary and have them pay for it."
Well, speaking of that, Brent, I don't know if you guys are aware that he's got supposedly another documentary and a TV show coming out.
Two documentaries, one TV show.
Okay. Todd Standing.
He's on fire.
Who are we talking about?
Todd Standing.
Oh, you're kidding.
Muppet Man.
Yeah, Muppet
Man.
He is.
Yeah, and that TV show.
Thanks, Nikki, for that information. By the way, $83,000 is the average income.
What
is it per show? By the way, that the people make on those shows. So,
wow, maybe I should get
there. The average annual salary for Discovery Channel employees is around $83,000. So, therefore, Matt Moneymaker has an estimate net worth of $2 million. Yeah, there you go.
Man, I'm like in the wrong business.
And employees, they weren't employees; they were principal cast. There's a difference.
I think he's co-producer too, isn't he?
He may have been. But there's a big difference between principal cast and employee. I was an employee on The Walking Dead. I was not principal cast. I did not make millions of dollars. And I know for a fact that, the principal cast of The Walking Dead, they're all multimillionaires.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that have been there for, season after season. And that's so when you have a successful TV show, it's not hard to rake in $100,000 an episode.
Well, you also
it's not a difficult thing.
They also had the conference thing too going on, because I'm sure they all have agents that help them get these different type of conferences, which they get paid to. So it's a good supplement as well.
Well, Mountain Monsters.
It is, dude, but bro,
Mountain Monsters.
When you're getting paid $100,000 an episode to shoot a TV show, like who cares about the conference? Like you're raking it in, man.
I mean,
you guys
Mountain
have to
Monsters.
remember, man, the very last season of Seinfeld, right? And I know Daniel and Leon remember. Brent, you're probably a little too young to remember the last season of Seinfeld. Every single actor in the last season of Seinfeld, every single actor got paid $1 million an episode. So that was the early 90s.
Well, I think they wanted to pay Jerry Seinfeld like $20 million an episode just to keep going, and he was like, "Nah, I'm done."
Yeah,
it was like an insane amount.
Yeah. So to get paid $100,000 an episode for a successful, high-rated, good, successful TV show, that's like chump change. Like you're shorting yourself. In 2000 and whenever the last season was that they did, 3 years
Well,
ago?
no, they just came out with the new standalone episode earlier this year, which again I think is why Matt made that declaration of best moose prints of 2020, so he can get those headlines.
Maybe.
They just came out with the new standalone hour and 24-minute long, getting the band back together type of thing.
Right.
I watched it too.
Now there's money in TV, man. Like if you're principal cast, there's money there, especially if you're on there for 8 years.
I'm not going to dog the Finding Bigfoot people. I like them. It's like you're watching four friends go out Bigfooting is what I see that as. But with Expedition Bigfoot, I feel I'm just being like lied to. It's like, I don't know.
You are.
It's kind of like the Skinwalker Ranch when that one came out. Remember that? It was a couple of years ago, Skinwalker Ranch, where these guys went and bought out Skinwalker Ranch, and now they're doing all this investigation. And they had this down to this bunker where they had all the technology and all this kind of stuff, but it was so bloody torturously cheesy to watch. It was just nutball.
But that was like a documentary.
No, it was this TV show series. They had I watched the first season, and then I think it went into some kind of vortex or something after this first season. I could be wrong. I just lost interest. In my opinion.
I mean, I don't blame these guys. I don't blame these guys on Expedition Bigfoot in a way for saying, "Hey, man, I could have a television career. I can make that money. Like." Who doesn't want to make money,
There's a lot that, we can't really dog on them completely, the four hosts that they have there, because, like a lot of that show is just edited. Like some of the sound is added in after the fact. There's a lot of posts going on where, you just have a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
That's even if that's true, Nikki, which I doubt that's a low number to me. But even if that's true, that's pretty good for being on, television show for 7-8 years.
And you're ab-living, so you're not really working. You're ab-living what you're normally would be doing. So
you get to travel around and do cool shit.
She lives up here close to me. Renee does. She lives close to me. I'm kind of hoping to run into her out in the wilderness somewhere. Huh. She still does biology. She's a biology person or whatever she does.
She is. She's some kind of biologist.
I like it because it's like those are four friends going out looking for Bigfoot. Yeah, Matt's the LARPer, the big brother, that's just like stupid, but he's a goofball in a way. And You know, they're cool though. They're cool. There's this other one that's on Amazon Prime where it's a guy named Jim Lansdale, and he's part of like this Georgia college. I don't even know what it is. It's some acronym, and he's all about trying to kill one, and that's what this whole series is. And it's like it's better than Expedition Bigfoot, but there's still a cheese factor to it where it's not as good as Finding Bigfoot. But if you guys have Amazon Prime, you should check that out. It's called something Bigfoot. Has it's like Bigfoot.
I got Amazon.
Just type
I
in
got
Bigfoot.
Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Roll through it until you find it.
Yeah,
Well,
you said there's a lot of Bigfoot things on there though.
There's a ton, and some of it's actually pretty good. Because like that one documentary, I saw that one documentary. I can't remember what it's called, but I knew half the people in it. Like I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Oh no, I remember you're talking about the one. Yeah, you're talking about the one called Chasing Bigfoot. That was the one. Yeah,
it blew my mind, dude. I'm like, Sam popped up, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's Sam.
Yeah,
and all these people.
We bored the host. He's walked away. Well, I was surprised with this documentary I'm doing. The PhDs that John's got lined up and the academics is just phenomenal. I think I'm the lowest grading academic in the whole documentary.
Really?
And I was
about what?
Background. What's it called?
Yeah, I don't. It's called Paranormal Bigfoot.
No,
it's not the paranormal. It's the other documentary that filmmaker made.
Seth Breedlove, the Small Town Monsters.
No, Bilko Productions.
Cultured Bigfoot.
Yes,
Cultured Bigfoot. Yeah, that's the other one. I forgot. I thought.
I'm brain on Brent.
Man,
you win a new car.
Say what one more time, motherfucker.
Showed my dorkness right there.
Square jar.
So, yeah, but this is a Paranormal Bigfoot. The first one was Cultured Bigfoot, and they have the other one. Yeah. They have a new one I don't have. It's called Native. I think it's the Native Bigfoot or Native American. I don't know. It's something to do with Native Americans. So
Native Bigfoot. I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I highly recommend the Cultured Bigfoot. Like,
it was good. I liked it.
Very
well put together.
Well put together, in-depth look into the Bigfoot community in I'd say a responsible way. It was fair. I thought it was fair.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, Bill Lancaster, the producer of these films, he lives just about four and a half hours south of me here in Virginia. But Pat told me when he was telling me about the movie, he says, why didn't I see you in that? I said, well, the funny thing is, I was in Ohio when he was filming most of it. But I guess he already had his people picked out. So
Daniel's like, dude, I hung out with him at the bar. We talked Bigfoot all night, and I just never made the cut for whatever reason.
He already had his people planned out. He's even had Richter Riolo on there. I mean,
Richter was in it, and Richter was one of the anchors. I felt for the people that were in it. Man, Richter actually did a really good job, which he does. Richter's an entertainer, obviously, but he did a really good job of articulating the Bigfoot world. Like his biases towards it, and then what he actually discovered. I thought it was a powerful moment, that I would actually like to have a conversation with Richter about, man. But we're just like years apart, man. Like that guy didn't want to have anything to do with me.
Well, he does.
He's actually a nice guy. I talked to him. I haven't talked to him in a little while, but. I talk to him privately every so often. He's a nice guy privately, and everybody you should be able to approach in this subject. Nobody's like.
I agree.
Well,
he was like dynamite when it came to the topic because of how direct he was with just pointing out bullshit, and because of his his public image, people got offended by him, but I think it was more because of who he is instead of throwing that. And again, that's not very objective. If you go through all that and we look at what he's talking about, he's absolutely dead on.
Absolutely.
It's garbage what's been online for 20 years. It wasn't at the beginning, but we got to move out of the garbage because it's turned into toxic garbage now.
Well,
and
he said
his parody was fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
but he parodied Daniel once.
Yeah,
no, more than once. He's actually had me a few times. Trust me.
Yeah, totally.
But to be clear, Daniel was playing along. So,
well, to a certain extent, because he asked me to do a few video, like, hey, I need you to respond to this and say or talk about this person, and so he said, all right, he used these. Then he turned it around and made me look like shit. So,
not really. I never thought it was all that unfair. He definitely cracked a joke or two on your behalf.
I got pictures. I got pictures of me and Rick to drink, in the bar in Ohio, with our arms around each other,
Right.
So
it's just funny to me.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's got what's called the reactatory personality, so he's looking for reactions from people. So
he is.
But it's not, and I don't say that in a negative way at all. I just, when I look at him, I just like. I mean, I would just make him laugh his head off, I'm sure, if we ever got talking to each other. And it'd be interesting to have him online.
That's just the way he communicates his version of telling, of what we do. It's just his is more coarse and to the point.
Yeah.
And so is mine. And it can be my way of communicating can be way more sharp. I reserve a lot.
Well, I try to. I try to understand who I'm talking to. Like, I'll use kid gloves if it's somebody just getting into the topic and they just kind of genuinely want to know more. It's like you try to want to help nudge them in the right way, but there's going to be a certain point where if they're not going to want to go that way, you just kind of let it go, and just kind of move on and stuff. But then there's some people that you kind of like. For me, instance, what really woke me up, what made me restart my investigation was talking to Stephen Stroyford, and it was like a slap across the face, and That's what you need sometimes.
What's up with that guy? Dude, I can't wrap my head around that guy.
He's I talked to him privately too, and he's a really nice guy. You got to understand, when we communicate in text form, we lose a lot of what we mean behind what we're saying. So we might come off as a dick more. And you also got to think from his perspective. Because he's been a critical thinker in the Bigfooting community, he's been attacked a lot. So. Right. You kind of get worn down on that, and you become less tolerant of stupid people, presenting.
Totally.
Doing.
Totally. And the other thing is, we got to give them we have to give them the right evidence, not the garbage evidence. I'm being a little strong tonight. I realize that, but the bottom line is, do we want to find a Sasquatch or don't we? We'll up our game to do it, not for people who are the general population that are coming online. But we got to stop sending garbage to these guys. I seen somebody else the other day. They had a picture of a big turd, and they were claiming this was a Sasquatch, right? And this is just on a video I caught, I think 2 days ago, or it might have been even this morning. And I looked at it and I thought, how do you know that's a turd from a Sasquatch? I know turds from animals, not that I'm a turdologist or anything, but but I mean, I don't go around studying animal turds, but I've seen those turd style before, and they're not from a Sasquatch. So the idea about people, and I don't blame the people. I really blame a lot of the bad channels that have been out there just doing narration without explaining what they're actually seeing, because the person who's doing the channel has no idea what they're talking about and looking at. And that will piss some people off, I'm sure, if they hear me say that. But the bottom line, that's what's going on here. And it's a systemic problem that needs to change in the Bigfoot community. And the nice thing is, it is changing. And like you said, Brent, earlier, there's going to be a shift that happens to the point where these other channels are either going to have to up their game, or they're going to be seen for just, there's nothing there because of what these other channels, what you're trying to provide, I'm trying to provide. We're trying to provide something, and I love Steve from Curious Cryptid's last video. I mean, I posted that on about 20 different Facebook pages. It was dead on. Absolutely.
I sure hope more people watch this video, because it's like, it's those type of videos that are like needed, that even Steven Stratford posted like, dude, who is this dude? He's like awesome.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, Steve is behind us. He doesn't get it. He thinks he's still up at the front. No, he's actually getting behind us now.
Oh,
as critical thinkers go, we've got like 15 channels that are critical thinking channels now, and we take in all the information. We're not judging anybody about it, but we need more solid stuff even from those people. So if you see a Sasquatch in a sports car going through a portal, give us the good data for it. I will say it's a Sasquatch in a sports car going through a portal. I won't not say that, but don't give me garbage, and at least have the capacity. Now I said garbage, so a person can get on their feathers all ruffled. Well, he's obviously not open-minded. I am open-minded, but give me something solid, something tactile to so I can look at what you're saying, go and investigate what you're talking about, so I can figure out what it is we're looking for. We're looking for online community. If we can shift the online community even by 20% in regards to what we're doing, we'll get them on film. There's no way they can hide from us. If we teach people, if people are open-minded enough, people are not in the bush, though. It scares the hell out of them. And
well,
you're gonna have to define that tactic. Like, how would that tactic look, Leo?
Well, it's about a multiple way of fronts of coming in there. The one thing I like about my drone, and you know about this, I don't have to talk to you about this, Pat, is think if you got a Sasquatch and it's fall and all the canopy's gone.
Right.
All you have to do is get that green square on that bloody Sasquatch and push follow. And you've got 15 to 20 minutes of solid high definition camera of the Squatch, right?
Yep.
So the idea about this, this is what's fogging people's brains or making that glass of water more dirtier, is they're listening to all this other information that's online, but it's not helpful one bit.
I agree.
10% of it is. That's the part we should keep building on.
Well,
a lot of people. Go ahead.
Fair enough.
Oh, it'd be nice, the people that do present this information of like, oh, hey, Bigfoots do this, and we know they I've learned that they did this, and they say all this nice stuff, but it's like, it sounds great, but it's like, well, where's, it's great that you say that, but where's like the evidence to back it up so we can see,
observe them.
Yeah.
Observe them.
Well, just to even, take what they're presenting as something we should listen to type of thing.
Yeah, I remember John Bindernagel talking about somebody from the Ontario area, and when we were talking, he was saying, I can't show his stuff, or he actually talked to the guy directly and said, I can't show your stuff because as soon as they check you out online, they're going to think you're a nut job. Because he's going into all these orbs and all this kind of stuff, and stuff falling from the sky. This is all Sasquatch kind of stuff. Listen, people, unfortunately, there's a great percentage of people, not just on the Sasquatch topic, but on a lot of the topics online, that are BSing their viewers. And there's a part of their brain, the viewer's brain, that it connects onto, and it works well for their brain, and that's how they get caught into these kind of style of channels. But as soon as you teach them how to look at things, and you're doing it fairly, you're not trying to attack people in that, and they catch what you're talking about, like the way Steve articulates. And for Steve, the other Steve from, what we're talking, the other Facebook channel we're talking about there, Brent, for him not to get that we're ahead of him at all. I mean, it's like that one time I posted on that same bloody Facebook page, and that one guy came at me like, oh, look at this guy, and who's he, and he's doing all this kind of stuff. He has no idea what I do. No idea. He's just projecting onto me. He's like the guy who was a dink the other day, right? I don't think the other guy's a dink at all, and I appreciated his act of honesty, he said, and then he would say that to me, and we hit it off really, really well after that. And he said, I never met this Leon. Well, actually, you have met this Leon, but your confirmation bias of projecting of what you think I was. 4 rules of relationship. First rule: see the person for who they are, not who you think or who you're hoping them to be. As soon as a person does that, they can't see me anymore, because they have a projection onto me of what they think a person should be. And so if I'm saying solid words that are solid factual in a solid factual tone, they're going to think I'm opinionated. Well, I am opinionated, but I'm opinionated because I'm trying to the advice I'm trying to share is solid for new people coming online, so they don't have to go through the misery that most of us had to go through. And it was destructive to us, Brent. You know this. It's incredibly destructive.
That's why I want to try and give people the tools and try and help people as much as I can. But I do recognize there's a certain threshold of where there's not everybody's going to come along on the ride. You know that you're going to have to let people go.
We influence who we can.
Exactly.
We need to pull people from the fence. Yeah.
Well, and you give us also the better data and the better way of articulating stuff so that the line is drawn in the sand. Again, the line in the sand is not about fighting. It's about having the capacity to outwit stupidity, confirmational bias, all that stuff. I mean, if you talk to somebody who has some 3 real good questions, you'll find out within those 3 real good questions whether or not you might as well even proceed with the conversation with them.
I agree.
You know, when I'm watching you guys, whenever we're online, you've heard me say this a few times. I'm waiting for 2 things to happen with the people watching. And Daniel's doing it, first one right now. He's doing this. That means he's a listener and a reflector. Girls, if you're looking for a guy, that's the kind of guy you're looking for, a guy that's doing this. That means they're listeners. Also notice my left ear is closer to the screen than my right ear is. That means I'm with us in this conversation. Now, if you have headphones on, it'll be a little different. But your left ear, when it's ahead of your right ear, that means we're engaged. If you were disagreeing with what I was saying, somebody on the panel was doing that, they would go like this with their right ear because they're ready. That's an attack mode. They're ready to attack me. They disagree with what I'm saying.
Look at that.
So when you guys are interviewing people, no kidding, when you're interviewing witnesses and stuff, you're looking for those 2 things. You're waiting for them to reflect on what they're talking about and their left ear come forward because that means that they trust you. The other thing is if they're not looking in your eyes, like they look in your eyes for only 4 seconds, you haven't won them over yet. You need to get them to stare at you in your eyes for at least at the minimum 7 seconds. And as soon as you do that, you know there's a connection there. You might look away after that, but keep building that rapport with them because you're trying to, they feel stupid because they don't know. How many times have we heard people say, I don't want to buy that this is a Sasquatch. So they're in conflict in their own mind. You need to reassure them with your own visual contact with them so that it invites them. I'm not saying nothing, buddy. I'm just here to hear your story. Or I'm here to hear what you saw. Don't say story because it can trigger some people if you don't believe what I'm saying. Right. A person says that, it's more likely they're lying to you, by the way, because that's not why you're there. You know your own motivations for being there. I'm honestly, sincerely interested in what these people have to say. Because if I find a Sasquatch or it helps find a Sasquatch and we can teach people how to find a Sasquatch, man, that'll be stellar for me in my mind. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just really kind of want to see one, and I'll do anything I can to help collect data, evidence, and all that fun stuff, which I do, you know. And but my main goal is just to see one, man. That's just what I want. God, I do a lot of stupid stuff. Like I get people telling me, God, you're stupid for like just doing some of the stuff, trying to get in an interaction with Bigfoot.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, no, man, you don't want that. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Well, Brent. You gotta keep looking underneath the trees. You'll get them eventually. So,
Check out Walmart. They're usually the ones without the bra, and they're usually wearing a thong.
After midnight, that's when they come out at Walmart.
I don't know. I mean, Brent, do you think you want to like walk around a trailhead, like a switchback, and there's one standing 15 feet in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
You want that?
That's the only thing that I'm really going to. I need that confirmation. That's the only way. Am I worried that? Well, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Right. I feel okay though. I feel okay. You know, it's I think animals can pick up on vibes. I give off a good vibe. I survived a Doberman Pinscher stupidity movement that I did, where I did something really stupid, and I almost got attacked by 2 Doberman Pinschers, but it was the way I acted and what they picked up is why I didn't get attacked, apparently.
Really? Okay, so you got yourself out of that situation by your instinctual behavior.
Well, yeah, I guess it was like because I was going to this work site and this lady has signs all up and down her gate like warning, don't come in, guard dog and stuff, and I didn't pay attention to any of that, so I went in the gate. I got 20 feet in there, and then these 2 Doberman Pinschers, trained Doberman Pinschers, because she trains these dogs, or she's a trainer. These 2 Doberman Pinschers came around the side of the house and just were like and just like locked eyes on me. And I'm like, whoa, shit. You know, I didn't expect that. And it's like, you have all this stuff going through your mind. I was thinking, should I just run out the gate? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that because they'll probably chase me, and
Chase you.
and I don't want to feel like a pansy type of thing or running away type of thing. So I just acted like I was supposed to be there. I walked up right past them, up to the front. They actually was kind of leading me to the front door, and the lady, I knocked on the door, and the lady was like, "What are you doing here?" type of thing. I'm like, I don't know. I should have read the signs.
Yeah.
But she was saying
search for Sasquatches.
Yes, but she was saying that so that the dogs picked up on like my vibe or whatever, and that, you know, that's the reason why they didn't attack me, is because of how I reacted to that situation.
Yeah,
I didn't
you're right.
apparently have the stress or anything like that. So that's what I'm kind of hoping.
You're confident.
To have that type of, and I try to condition myself for these type of interactions. That's why I go out there by myself a lot of times, and so I think conditioning helps as well. So when I do encounter that situation, I will have a third alternative instead of the fight or flight. I'll have a third alternative of, hey, I'm supposed to be there because this is what the point of us doing this is to go do this, to go get in front of these things, go figure out what these things are, to go learn more about them. So you have to go do that, and that's the way I.
Fair enough.
Like, yeah, it's the only way to get it done. I'd love to see them.
What if that 8 foot tall, 4 foot wide, shouldered monkey man looks at you like you're not supposed to be here? What will you do then?
Yeah, well, you know, it's one of those things where you assess the situation where it's like, I should just back up slowly and just go right where I came from and stuff. And you know, so you can sense it. Like I encountered a black bear last year, and a really close encounter. I was able to get really close to it. Stupid, never recommend it, but you know, I felt you could feel the animal, and that I wasn't a threat to it. It wasn't a threat to me. And you know, granted, it's not like a Timothy Treadwell type of thing where it's like, oh, I love these bears, and boom, you just get eaten by one. But you give the animal respect and know your boundaries with them, and try to work within that. And so if I come across a Bigfoot and it's on a trail that I'm on too, it's like I have every right to be there too. But you know, I would probably assess it. If it's like staring me down like it wants to tear my head off, I'll just probably, you know, back away, because I don't think they take people, because there's so many people that go in the forest that don't get taken, and they're like Bigfoot hotspot areas.
Millions of people, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah, like the Olympic Project alone, or the Olympic Peninsula here, which is a really famous Bigfoot area, that has like 3 million people annually that go through the forest there. That's a lot of people to go through the forest. So you're not going to have Bigfoot taking all these people. You do have missing people, but people go missing just in general. You know, that's just what happens. But I don't think that Bigfoots are out there like nefariously taking everybody that they come across, because I think if they did that, it would bring more humans to that particular area. And I think that they realize that they don't want, they don't want to bring all the search and rescue people out there. So it's like, oh, I'm just going to let this dude go. And there are some instances where I go out. There was a previous investigator. He doesn't do it anymore, but he was actually physically pushed by one, is what he says. He was out there trying to gift some candy or some at a gifting area, but John Bindernagel gave him a trail cam and to go put back further in the forest. And so he went and put it back in there. But when he went back in there, there was these 2 Bigfoots that were waiting for him for the food that he was supposed to drop off. And so he apparently dropped the trail cam and just started to head back to his truck. But he's a veteran, and he has a disability, so he's not able to walk very fast or very well. So what he says is the Bigfoots just shadowed him out, kind of like pushed him out in a way, like followed him out, let him get out and stuff, and pushed him as soon as he got to the road, pushed him, which he went flying across the road. And then the Bigfoot just apparently walked right across, you know, right over him and back into the forest, you know. So I'm not really worried about them taking me or eating me. I just don't think that they do that. It's possible. You know, like I carry a gun, but I'm not worried about Bigfoot. I'm worried more about people, like some shady people back there. And
well, you got other predators too. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, we come across like mountain lion prints all the time, and bears
all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, those two Dobermans recognize you as like the Beastmaster. I mean, the Beastmaster gets along with every animal. I mean, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, so far I'm pretty good with that. But yeah, 'cause like where I go, it's like a lot of I go a lot of off trail, off forest, getting into like really good areas, and that's where you can find like really good tracks, not Bigfoot tracks, unfortunately, but like you see what the game is, especially when you go to watering hole areas where you know that you just go where animals usually go.
Yeah, you see a lot of. I know out there. I know you got them out there, like mountain lions. You ever see mountain lions out there?
I actually had a mountain lion. Well, I saw a mountain lion once. It was fleeting. It was a fleeting thing that was just going in the forest, and I saw it from the road. But I actually had a mountain lion stay at our house for a short period of time while my parents were shooting a commercial for their business, and so this was like in the 80s and stuff. So they brought this mountain lion in that it was a rescue mountain lion. And we actually had this mountain lion come in. It was a full grown mountain lion that they used in this commercial. And we had it at our house for a couple of days. And it was an amazing thing. Wonderful animal, well trained.
Well, the thing is about mountain lions here on the East Coast, like here in Virginia and the surrounding states, I mean, a lot of people see them. There's so many eyewitnesses to it. It's just like Bigfoot. But you tell some people don't believe it. They don't want to believe that they're here. Your authorities won't admit to them because
the state will not admit. Oh no, we do not have mountain lions here in Georgia.
Yeah,
but yes,
I mean
they are here.
Yes, I've seen one.
Weird. Yeah,
I mean I seen one with my own eyes back in 2015 in the same area I camp in.
Well, we actually have a guy here. What he does is he actually has a couple of dogs on top of his hood of his car. And what he does is he drives down the road and the dogs pick up the scent of the mountain lions. And what his job is he is to get the mountain lions to go back up into the mountains to get away from the people. They come to these rural areas and that's when they start taking animals and you have more human conflict. So this guy is hired apparently to go. He just puts these dogs up on the hood of his car on his truck, and the dogs will alert him when they come across the smell of a mountain lion, and they go do what he does. They go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I put out a blog a few years ago, and it was regarding to mountain lion sightings, and I've had several people respond to it, and just in the local surrounding counties right here. One of the stories, the guy had two of them run across his farm, and he saw them with his naked eye. And what did he do? He said he called and reported it. But and that famous common story feedback you get, that ain't what you saw, is what he was told. So and I've been in other discussions. What's that? Yeah, exactly. Basically.
It's funny because our wildlife department up here is so much different. We're proud of the animals that we have here, and how well we take care of them.
Yeah,
it's really weird to hear like a state government like, oh yeah, we don't have mountain lions here. There's no like Leon, no mountain lions here.
that's what they do.
It's not like it's not uncommon.
Yeah, from the entire southeast of the United States all the way up till almost Maine, at least Pennsylvania. The wildlife authorities all say in every state, no, there's no mountain lions here, and we all know there are. And
I mean,
it is a bizarre thing, dude. It's very strange, man.
They have no problem admitting to bobcats because I've caught bobcats twice on my trail cameras.
Bobcats are tiny. Mountain lions are freaking huge, man.
Oh, there's some bobcats that do. The ones I saw, they were small ones, but like I know West Virginia, there's been some pretty big ones taken during as far as hunters taking them, but I've seen some of them that get pretty big, but mountain lions are very
a mountain lion, dude. They're you look at a cougar, a mountain lion.
Yeah.
It's like, they're maybe 30% smaller than a panther? Or something like that. I mean, they're big. They're big.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can get over 100 pounds. They can get pretty big. I'm actually part of a Facebook group here in Washington, and it's people who have trail cams set up all across the Washington state, out in the forest and stuff. And it's specifically for mountain lions. And so people will get mountain lions on their trail cams, and they'll go post them in this Facebook group to kind of keep tally and keep tabs of the local mountain lion population and stuff. So it's nothing on a federal level. It's just a group of people getting together, having a repository of having all these different mountain lion sightings, and you get the pictures and videos of them. And there's maybe something that's that they could do there. Just the community coming together to help show what's out there.
Well, like I was mentioning to Pat in the messenger earlier. We were talking about, I was showing him how I'm going to be having some decals put on my vehicle. And then one of the things I was talking to him about, as far as how I've been in discussions with game wardens, because sometimes if they're riding through the forest area, they're checking, they see campers, they stop in and check on you, make sure, you're not doing nothing illegal. Yeah, and
poaching's a big problem.
Well, the other thing is too, they, once they get to know you and what you do and everything, they're like, well, one in particular used to come around a lot. He's like, if you got any trail cameras out in the woods, don't leave them out there. Make sure you take them out when you leave. They don't want trail cameras left out in the woods, which, in my year, I've left them out there from weeks to months on end, and, sometimes you might get, some good stuff. Sometimes you might not get nothing in that area, it's whatever. But I often wonder, why is it they don't want cameras left in there? Are they afraid that you might catch something that they don't want you to know that's there? These are the thoughts that run through my head.
Yeah.
But
I'm not an advocate of the government hiding the Bigfoot population from us. I think that's a little too far.
Well, not necessarily Bigfoot, but like we were talking about the mountain lions and stuff, because a lot of them don't want you to know that they're here, even though there's eyewitnesses to them everywhere.
That's the thing here. That's a thing here.
Here on the East Coast
does hide mountain lion numbers. They totally hide it. No doubt about it. 100%. They're like, no, there's no breeding population in Georgia. They just maybe pass through sometimes.
I mean, one of the books I just got from I have to go pick them up. They're at my parents' house where I catch my mail. But there's one lady. She's an author. She's writing several different Bigfoot. Bigfoot as well. She does Bigfoot books based off of people's stories and research. And she does her specialty is gathering and studying reports of mountain lions and panthers. And so, one of the books she sent me is one of her I think she sent me a couple of her panther books. But they're basically the reports from people in this, everywhere, here on the East Coast, because she's based out of Kentucky, and then, you got Tennessee, there's sightings in Tennessee, here in Virginia. And, but I'm curious to read some of her story, because her books contain a lot of information based off of sightings and reports. So, but yeah, there's people that focus their studies on these things. And it's like, sometimes, just like I mentioned earlier, just like with dealing with Bigfoot, you go to talk to Bigfoot people. Bigfoot, you're gonna get people that laugh at you. It's the same thing with the mountain lion stories around here. You tell people that you saw a Bigfoot, a mountain lion, they're gonna laugh at you and make fun of you. Oh, there ain't no mountain lions here. I mean, these are people that don't get out there. Yeah, you're not gonna see them. They're very elusive. Bears could be elusive, but we still see them. But still, mountain lions are very stealthy. People don't understand these mountain lions, especially if they're not well populated.
Oh my gosh, I'm still worried about mountain lions, because we come across, I walk by like cliff, like little areas where they just naturally will pounce on somebody. And we actually had our first mountain lion kill, or a mountain lion killed an individual here, I think 2 or 3 years ago. The first time in 93 years, mountain lion killed a dude. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dragged him off in the forest and stuff. That's crazy.
Well, get going, gentlemen.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, we got to get on. I could talk more about mountain lions and stories and other things, but there's so much more. But yeah, it is. Yeah, it is late. It's almost midnight here. So, but yeah, you guys have still got like hours of your day left out there. So I mean,
well, I'm probably gonna go make a sandwich, watch some I think the new. Do you guys watch the whole Disney Plus, the like the WandaVision, the Marvel stuff? Yeah,
I don't have Disney Plus, but I do like Marvel and stuff. You know.
Oh my gosh,
so.
the stuff they're doing right now on Disney Plus is amazing. It's worth the $6. Like the new WandaVision that they got. It's awesome. I'm gonna go make a sandwich and watch that and go to bed after this.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably find something
on a Friday night.
Yeah, I got the rest of my Chinese food to eat, and I'm gonna watch me something on Prime. So,
there's some good Bigfoot movies on Amazon Prime. Coming to America too is on there too now.
I watched that last week. That was good. Early this week. It was. A lot of people had mixed emotions about it. Said it was cheesy. I mean, it was. I mean, look at the first one. I loved both the original. It had all the original people in it, and it was pretty good. You know, I liked it. It was funny. So, but yeah, everybody's older in it, but there's, you know, they had mostly everybody in it. So, but yeah, it was good. So yeah, if no one's watched it, if you like the first one, I think you'll like the second one. So
that's the way Cobra Kai season 3 was. If you guys watch Cobra Kai, man, that's the
my goodness, I am ready for season 4. Well, yeah, season 4. I'm ready for it. I like the way the characters are coming together. Everybody from the originals pulling in there.
I don't know. Like season 3, it was like a nod to the entire. And I didn't even like the Karate Kid series, man. But I love Cobra Kai. I will go to bat for that show for forever, man. Season 4, I'll sign the petition for season 4. I will. Man, that's an awesome show.
But you didn't like the original, but you've seen the originals, right?
Oh yeah, all 3, all 4. If you want to go with
all 4. Yeah, the girl, she's supposed to be making her appearance coming back soon too.
Yeah, she was cool. She was cool.
Yeah, her, and then the other bad guy. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about? The slicked hair, John Reese's buddy.
Yeah. Which is suspected to be one of the character fighters of the team, Cobra Kai team, or not?
Yeah,
like a lot of different plot lines going along there.
Oh, I know. I watched some of those plot videos. Yeah, sometimes on YouTube. Sometimes I check out some of those. They got leaks and theories about what's going to happen, who's going to show up and do this and that. So.
Yeah, like
keep drinking, Pat. We'll fit in here some at one point.
You guys know, like the new Justice League.
Gentlemen, Sasquatch, Sasquatch. Come on, stay focused.
You know what I saw on Amazon Prime? Bigfoot versus the Illuminati. No joke. It's on Amazon Prime. We should all watch it tonight.
Versus the Illuminati.
Yeah, we should all watch. Come back and have like an hour-long discussion about this amazing movie. I haven't seen it, but I bet you it's amazing because with that title, how can it not be?
And evangelical fundamentalist political scene. They're probably wrapped in there somewhere.
Somehow. DB Cooper.
Well, gentlemen.
Yeah, DB Cooper. Now that's a fascinating thing. But we will get into it.
All right. We can talk after. We can talk offline.
Yeah, let's wrap it. Let's wrap the live show up, Daniel.
Yeah,
come on, Daniel.
Oh yeah, blame it on me this time. It's usually Pat.
Well, you're the host.
We're going on 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. Who the hell wants
to watch a 3-hour YouTube
on Friday night? Losers.
Everybody's out probably hanging out at the local bar. We're here talking Bigfoot and Karate Kid.
COVID, right?
Yeah, you can't go to the local bar. We're still in that COVID cycle.
Not up here in Virginia. The bars are open up here, buddy. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Ding dong. That's us.
Yeah. The door. A lot of the restrictions got lifted here. So come on out, you know. Leon, get your green card. Come on over to the U.S.
I don't want to live in the United States. Thank you very much. I love living in Canada.
Okay.
Well, you need to come visit.
Visit. At least come visit.
Hey, you got to come. You got to come this summer, Leon. This summer, man, we'll set something up if you come down.
We'd love to.
Yeah. Well,
the only thing is, Nick is training for a 406-kilometer run through the bush here for PTS military people. Right? I can imagine that in 8 days he has to run 406 kilometers in 8 days. and he has to bring everything with him. And they just drop him off in the forest somewhere. He has a compass and a map, and he has to figure out how to get to the end. Man, I wish I had the sprung young lives that you and him have. Like 57-year-old fat guy here. Oh, hey, I'll just take a golf cart. Oh, golf cart will work. Can you fly me in a helicopter? That would be good. Like this one here. How about I just fly in with a helicopter? I win.
Brent,
yay.
That's what I do.
Well, Brent and Leon, you know, you guys got to come on out to the Virginia Bigfoot Conference in June. So meet me and Pat in person. So
we're getting a big.
Can I sit there and mock Pat when he's out there talking? Can I mock Pat? Can I be like he's like the stand-up comedian guy, and I can be in the audience? I can say, "Hey,
yeah." I will have my coin code. Rotten Tomatoes, everything.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, let's go offline so we can talk offline for a second. For a bit.
All right.
Yeah, we got to talk about all the people in the chat offline.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for those who are still watching. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and do so now, and check out the VABigfootCon.com. See you guys in June, and we're out.